comment go idly by. Marianne Franjul, hashtag HeyJB, do we really think the family will speak without attorneys present? Okay, so this is a great question. Let's go back here. Let's go back here split screen as we talk about Marianne's question here. The family members of Brian Laundrie are said to be in the home here in Northport. And again, they requested to speak with Northport police. It could be for safety concerns. It could be to discuss where we are in the Gabby Petito case. But at this time, we don't know if a legal aid with the New York attorney who is representing the Laundrie family is here as well. You got to remember, law offices are very, very large, and a legal aid with the attorney could be inside of this house here as well, providing counsel. Or, of course, they could just have that attorney's office on speakerphone. That attorney being, of course, I have it here in front of me, Stephen Bertolino in East Islip, New York. So whether a member of Stephen Bertolino's team is physically here in person to be here and assist the family, or if they're on speed dial and on speakerphone to assist, it's very possible that legal counsel is very active here in what is going on right now inside of the Laundrie home. So again, back here to the comment from Marianne Franjul. Appreciate the comment. We'll look for some more hashtag HeyJB comments in the meantime. I'm just going to check in. Allison Henning, do you have us there outside of Brian Laundrie's home?
I do, and we are actually going to have to hop off here in a second. My photographer is going to need to do a battery swap here, and Nico Clemens is going to be reporting live at 8 o'clock, so we're going to have to do a little swap out here to make sure that he's able to get on WTTA at 8.
WTTA Great 38 is where you'll find team coverage here, folks, coming up on, of course, WTTA, our sister station here at WFLA News Channel 8. Let's switch now to the other camera feed while they do a battery swap on the first camera feed. So we'll stay here with you live again, right down the driveway here. If someone emerges from this house, you'll see it here.
But even with the protesters, they didn't need to speak to the police, where the police are now bringing in evidence bags and everything. Like this, something's gonna go down.
And the officers could be in the home, and because, of course, Brian Laundrie has invoked his constitutional right to not speak, and we had this comment come in here a short time ago. It's somewhere in the queue here, but we were talking about invoking your constitutional right to remain silent. It's very possible that the officers are just in the home and outside of the home here, clearly, just as a safety precaution, and there might not be any chatter going on between the officers that are inside of the house. But the interesting wrinkle here, the development that occurred about 15 minutes ago, was the search of the Ford Mustang convertible. If you're joining us on whatever social media platform you're joining on, you can kind of rewind here on the stream if you missed that moment. But we had, I believe, 2 investigators go into the home, and they, if I remember correctly, and I'd like our commenters here just to, because I'm one person with one pair of eyes, with 2 eyes. I thought I saw them holding the keys for that car, which of course makes sense. They were entering the car. That's not too out of the ordinary here as far as what we're talking about. But if they received the car keys from the Laundrie family and they went through that vehicle, the silver Ford Mustang convertible here, as we're switching feeds here again, that is a curious development here. And what were they going through that car for? And was that related to the Gabby Petito disappearance, or was that related to the safety concern that we have talked about here on stream? We really don't know. We don't know, but that was an interesting development that occurred here again about 15 minutes ago. It is clearly getting quite dark here. So dark that I thought that we went in black on our other camera feed. I'm going to hit this one here on the touchscreen, and it was just the lawn here. With this camera feed here pointing at the lawn, you can see there in the top left-hand portion of the screen. That's the house there in the top left-hand portion of your screen, but that just speaks to how dark it is getting. I would imagine what happens here and I've been at scenes, maybe not with this much attention, with this many camera crews, but when...
By the way, for anyone that didn't hear anything yet, they're saying that the tie to the Iowa lesbian couple that was murdered, there is no connection. That was what was released a little while ago. No connection with the lesbians.
after a very long day, and they worked so hard, our news crews, to get lights to shine some light here on the house because the sun has officially set here in Northport, Florida. So that was the lawn. That is, and they're just like that. I think we're starting to see some lights getting set up. Every now and again, a squirrel finds a nut, right? All right, back to our comments
He's
here
young. He looks young.
in the Facebook Live comment section. Let's get to Eileen Sues, #HeyJB. Can't they make him talk? He was clearly the last person with Gabby. The answer is no. We've talked about this extensively here on WFLA Now over the last several days. You can't force someone to speak. And right now, Brian Laundrie, and there are people that are extremely frustrated about this, but it's the facts, folks. Brian Laundrie is a person of interest, hasn't been charged with any crime. And in fact, that brings us to the next question
We don't
here.
have
This
a
is one of the
crime
most
yet.
popular questions we've been getting here on stream. Darcy Stone here, #HeyJB. Can't the police legally question him since he had her van without her? Remember, the van was in Gabby's name. Brian drove the van from wherever, whether it was Wyoming or Utah, Grand Teton National Park in Northwest Wyoming. He drove the van in Gabby's name without Gabby back here to Northport, Florida. So there have been people asking, can you charge him with a crime connected to the fact that he took the car that was in her name and drove it all the way back here to Florida? That question specifically was asked to the Northport police chief a couple of days ago, and the answer, we were expecting a long answer, but the answer is no. And there is a legal explanation for this, and as of right now, we just understand that is not enough to charge Brian Laundrie with a crime. And maybe, and listen, this is one of those, when you're getting into crimes being charged potentially, every state's different, and every state has different laws when it comes to crimes of that type. And it's very possible that if it was in a different state, maybe in the state that you're joining us from, wherever you're watching from, maybe it's a crime in your state. But here in Florida, based on what we know legally here, that is not enough to charge Brian Laundrie, which of course has been a source of frustration for so many. Angela Gianna here. I'm glad that you brought this one up here, Angela, because this is something I referenced earlier on in this stream.
I think family volunteered.
#HeyJB. Did they have a warrant? Did the family volunteer to speak with them? Let's rewind here. We're going to go to the Northport Police Twitter feed. They said 43 minutes ago, Northport Police are currently speaking with the Laundrie family at their request. At this time, we are not speaking with Brian.
Thank you, Daly.
More details when available. So, did the family? Let's start with the second part of this question first from Angela. Did the family volunteer to speak with them? The family requested to speak. But Brian's not talking to investigators. Why, you see the big, bold words here at the bottom of your screen. Breaking. Police enter Brian Laundrie's home. But that does not mean that they are speaking with Brian. So did the family volunteer to speak with them? They requested, yes, to speak with officers with Northport Police. But we don't know why. And we wonder if it's connected to the crowd that gathered here, a crowd that had megaphones, a crowd that was chanting.
No, they brought, there's no way to pause this because it's live, but they brought evidence bags inside. So it was definitely about evidence. And there were like 5 officers. Family wanted to talk.
It's going to be organized. Clearly here we are getting darker and darker here on this particular shot. I don't know if there's anything that I can do here to make this shot any brighter. We'll absolutely try here. Let's do some on-the-fly. Oh, there's a light. Okay, hold on a sec. I didn't do that. That was a light from a news crew here. I just want people to be able to see if anything happens here. And I don't think that there's going to be much here that I can do. But let's try. Let's try here for a moment. No, there's nothing that I'm going to be able to do here to make this feed any better. It's just too dark. I could brighten it up if we could see some of it. And we can see an out. Oh, there's some lights. Those are some news crews. And let's go to the other camera feed here.
Hey, Liz, can you hear me? I can hear you. Liz,
That's
mic
Nico
check 1, 2,
Clemens.
Liz.
That's Nico Clemens getting ready with our producer, Liz Hall, for the 8 o'clock newscast on WTTA. And there we have now, as I mentioned earlier, news crews going into their vans, getting their lights here. And if you're looking outside from inside the Laundrie household now you're just going to see light. A lot of LED lights that are being set up on stands here pointed at the Laundrie household here. So Hey, Angela, thanks a lot for your comment. I'll be looking for more hashtag HeyJB comments here in the Facebook Live comment section. I want to also remind there is a sizable amount of, we talked about this earlier. Have you been on TikTok? Have you been on Reddit? It's a rabbit hole of conspiracy theories and unsubstantiated claims. And a lot of them, and I know that there are a lot of folks here that are hashtag AJB trying to get my attention, so I would animate the comment on screen to throw up a conspiracy theory of some kind, a claim of some kind, and we're just not going to do it because, again, we're trying to stay rooted in reality here.
Thank you, because I don't know if you guys saw what Chasing Truth posted. I do not buy it at all. Every single person in her chat was like, you know, oh my God, thank you, thank you. I think this girl wanted a 15 minutes of fame. I do not buy it. I think it's complete crock. And if nothing happens here, I'll show you guys. You can go over and watch it. But yeah, I'm not buying it at all. I think it was complete bullshit.
Here, but again, as a reminder, we're not going to be sharing any conspiracy theories. All right, someone's coming out of the house. Let's listen in.
Your handcuffs?
You know, there are several officers inside, several law enforcement officials inside. He's walking.
I'll bring him out. No, let him fit it.
He's back off of the property. Dude, you almost took her out.
You good?
Oh, no, you're good. The cameraman almost hit her in the face.
Some of the chatter here amongst our news crews here, listen, this is a chaotic scene. And again, I spoke to some experience earlier covering events like this, or there are some terms they use to describe when there's this many camera crews outside of one very small location. It can get very much elbow to elbow, and our crews here are working very hard to provide us with the images that you're seeing here. They're doing their job. So a big shout out to our crews in the field here that are doing everything they can to stay in position here and provide us with a shot of value here as far as being able to see something that is lit and see something that is, of course, oh, now, wow, look at that. Okay, so lights are being turned on here left and right. Again, just waiting for more activity here outside of the Laundrie home. There's 8 on your sides. Nico, oh, okay, we just had somebody go in there. Okay, that is an officer going into the home with brown paper bags. Got that? What appeared to be brown paper bags, and this is not the first time that we have heard a report of them going into the house with brown paper bags. And the reason why that is significant here, folks, is that investigators will bring in brown paper bags a lot to collect evidence. So we, again, just another little piece, another clue here as we're trying to decipher what's going on inside of the house. We don't know what is going on inside of the house right now, but that's the second time that that officers have been seen going into the front door of this house with paper bags. Take that for what you will at this stage in the investigation here. We're going to get to 8 on your sides. Nico Clemens here in just a moment. I want to bring up really quickly here because it seems like there's activity here at the house. I'm going to bring this up here from Kimberly, hashtag HeyJB. Check out the latest press release from the Grand County Sheriff's Department. I am very glad that Kimberly brought this up because I was going to reference this at the top of our stream for the prayer vigil here because there have been people that have been asking about the Utah double murder. In the last several days, that's the number 1, 2, or maybe the top 3 question that we have received here on WFLA Now. Is Gabby's disappearance connected to the double murder of 2 women, a couple in Utah? A lot of potential connections there as far as time and location, but a release was sent out by the Sheriff's Department there in Grand County saying that there is no connection. They have determined there is no connection between the Utah double homicide and Gabby Petito's disappearance. Let's get you back out here live here, folks. Let's just kind of listen in here for a moment as I gather more hashtag AJB comments here out of the Facebook Live comment section. Folks, we're standing by here for a live report by 8 on your sides. Nico Clemens. It's at the top of our 8 o'clock newscast on WTTA Great 38. For our audience here in the Tampa Bay area, find WTTA Great 38 in your local listings, and you'll, of course, find our 8 o'clock newscast with team coverage on what is currently occurring here at Brian Laundrie's home. In the meantime, we'll stay here with you live on WFLA Now. Here's Nico Clemens.
And the parents of Brian Laundrie, they wanted to speak with officers, so that's why they're here. They're not speaking with Brian, they're speaking with Brian's parents. But you can hear in the background, dozens of people here in the Northport community have made their way to the Laundrie household. They're demanding Brian Laundrie to come out, speak, tell officers what he knows about Gabby's location. We know Brian Laundrie got back to Northport on the 1st. Gabby's mother filed that missing persons report all the way from New York on the 11th. So tomorrow will make a week since Gabby's mother made that missing persons report. But again, we're still waiting to get more information from police. They did tweet a while ago. They're here because the parents wanted to speak with them. That's all we know right now. We did learn today that officers do not have Gabby's cell phone. That's what a spokesman with the Northport Police Department told us earlier today. Does not have Gabby's cell phone. So that, on top of Brian not speaking with law enforcement officers, it's making it very difficult for officers to find Gabby. We know they were last out west in the Wyoming area, Yellowstone National Park, Grand Teton. They've posted on their social media pages this week pictures of Gabby. But back here at the home again, officers have spent the last hour and a half inside. They're carrying in and out or inside brown bags. They've carried several brown bags inside the home. So we're not sure what they're looking for, what they're searching for, if they're going to collect anything. But again, they're here speaking with the parents. We know the parents are inside. We know people have been at the home the last several days waiting to see if anyone would come out. We now know people are inside the home. They're not speaking with Brian. Again, they're speaking with the parents. So, of course, we're staying on top of this story. We are going to stay here all night. Allison Henning is here as well, our Sarasota County Bureau reporter. And so, of course, we'll bring you the latest once we get that information. Josh and Jen, back to you all.
Deserves answers. Her family deserves answers. Come out with the police, with your lawyer, whatever, and say.
Funny you say that, Josh, because
that's all you got.
Once people learned that officers were at the Laundrie household, it seemed like the entire community just flooded and made their way to the Laundrie household. And at one point, the entire street was blocked, filled with cars and people. So officers have had to clear the street. They've had to turn, basically turn some people away, tell some people, hey, you can't be here. But the street was full with people, full with cars. And if it was brighter outside, we could show you the line of cars just up and down the street right now. So there's no indication that they're going to tell people to stop yelling or screaming, where is Gabby? But we do know they're trying to clear the street because there are tons of people out here right now.
Mommy and Daddy can't save you now. You better come on out and tell us where she is. What happened? Her family deserves answers. Her friends deserve answers. If it was your child, you would want answers. So come out and say what happened to her.
Pretty good? What happened?
You guys are just as guilty as your son, and I hope that you run out.
You good? Yep. Yeah. You can turn this off?
Nico gave the shout out, so it's fine that I was in the shot.
I didn't mean to like
All right, hey there.
No, I know the family of what they originally said, but there's no other reason for these cops to be there an hour and a half if it was just about protesting. There's something else going on that they're not releasing or they can't release.
The brightness on your iPhone, you'll be able to see that there's an outline of a palm tree there. Our crews have been out there for an extended period of time here, so we're making some moves here, swapping batteries, just making sure that we can stay on this here for you. And we do have several different feeds to go here, but okay, so photographer getting a little bit of a rest, pointing up at the sky here, and now, okay, correctly pointed at the house here. We'll try to get to some more comments here, but we just had a comment come in here a short time ago wanting me to clarify the release from the Grand County Sheriff's Department, and this comes from Chief Deputy Daryl Meacham. Okay, so this is again from Utah. It has been determined that Gabby Petito, the Gabby Petito missing person case, is not related to the double homicide case involving Crystal Turner and Kylan Shulette, excuse me.
See, here was my thing that I was thinking about earlier. They're saying that it's not related, and that's what I said yesterday, but what if they said that a guy called in? This is like a whole theory I had yesterday, that the guy called in and said, there was a fight or whatever, and it was the creepy guy that called it in to begin with, and maybe he actually wanted to kill them and ended up killing the lesbians instead. I don't know. It's just something I thought of. Thank you, Anthony. It's just totally something I thought of. Yeah, they looked in the car. I believe they did look in the van.
I don't see shadows. The house, though. But at least you'll see shadows. There's somebody in the back.
The cops are in there for 2 hours already. There's no way this is just about, people being outside. No way. 2 hours they're in there.
That appeared to be an officer. Again, if you're just joining us here, folks, there have been several numerous interesting developments that have occurred here outside of the home, and let's kind of rewind here and backtrack for a second on what we have seen. First, before the stream began, we got word that officers were entering the home with brown paper bags. Then, what appeared to be brown paper bags in the hand of an officer, that happened about 10 minutes ago. So an additional officer going in with what appeared to be a brown paper bag in their hand, or at least several brown paper bags. Now, we bring that up. Why? Why is that interesting? Because brown paper bags being brought into the home of somebody that is being investigated, that is usually to collect evidence. When you add that up with the fact that about 30 to 45 minutes ago now, we had officers going into the silver Ford Mustang convertible in the driveway that Allison Henning has been reporting has been there for really the entirety of the week, that when you pull the two together, we're starting to see a little bit of a pattern here as to what is happening inside of the household. It tells us something, but at the same time, it tells us very, very little because we don't know what's going on inside of the house. But officers have been spotted going into, including on this stream, spotted going into the house with brown paper bags. And we also...
Okay, so Brian's not in the house, and it's just the parents. It was just confirmed by the police. Catherine, thank you for hitting Twitter, because I'm screen sharing and I can't go back and forth with these. So thank you for the updates. So I'm trusting you on these updates. But yeah, so Brian Laundrie is not in the house, just the parents, confirmed with police.
That vehicle has been there for a considerable amount of time. Let's listen in here one more time on WFLA Now.
Where is Gabby?
Hey, Stormy.
Where is Gabby? Where is Gabby? Where is Gabby? Where is Gabby? You know? You better start talking, boy. Brian, come on out with your coward parents and your coward self, because we're not going anywhere.
I want to bring up a great...
This is live now, Caslin.
Who loves her? She has friends who love her. America's daughter. America's
As you listen here to some of the chatter from some of the folks that have gathered out there, and they are chanting quite loudly here. I believe that they have some megaphone devices there to, of course, amplify their voice here. But let's, someone made a great comment, and this is why being live here with our audience on WFLA Now is so beneficial to us and advantageous, because bring up things that in the moment here can help us decipher what might be actually going on here. And they didn't use hashtag HJB, so I can't animate the comment on screen. Of course, that's our system here, because we don't want to animate a comment on screen that somebody doesn't want their profile picture and their name on screen here. But they pointed out here that Gabby Petito lived with Brian Laundrie for a period of about a year. And that's something that we found out here in the last several days. And could the evidence that is being collected here, or could the reason that they are bringing in those brown paper bags is not to take things that belong to the Laundrie family, but belong to Gabby Petito? Again, it's just an observation here from our audience. We don't know if that's the case. We don't know if the brown paper bags are connected to them collecting things from inside of the household here. But it's something that originally didn't enter my mind here. So a big shout out to the commenter here that noted that here a short time ago. Again, use hashtag HeyJB, and we can feature your comments here on screen. I'll look for some more comments starting now here in our Facebook Live, Twitter, and YouTube comment sections here. I'll be starting to look for them here now. I know we have a bunch coming in. In the meantime, let's listen in here outside of the house.
All right, Northport police chief said Laundrie's not in his family's home. Police do not know where he is. He could be anywhere. To be clear, he did not say police were looking for him. I wonder why the parents are finally talking, though. He didn't consider what it's doing to his parent. I don't think anybody would have thought. You know, it's funny, though, because you don't know what cases are going to go viral and what cases aren't. So it's anyone's guess. Okay, he's got a missing girl. Maybe nobody would even notice, you know? There's no way to tell. I mean, look how many missing people there are every year that don't go viral. He probably thought it wasn't going to go viral.
Where is Gabby? Where is Gabby? Where is Gabby?
Good point, Quinny. Everything is pure speculation. I agree. No, it's not auto theft. See, what I personally have a problem with, she lived there for like 2 years. How could the parents, like, I understand protecting your son, but I can't comprehend this kind of protection.
20 minutes or so here. The last that was significant was probably about 20 or so minutes ago when we had an officer enter the home with what appeared to be a brown paper bag in their hand. And again, that's usually to collect something as far as law enforcement, but we don't know what is going on inside of the house. We don't even know if Brian's in the house, but more on that here in just a second. As we've been talking about, we can animate comments on screen here using the hashtags that we have. Normally we have a lot of folks here joining us, like Justin Shecker, Masa Saidi, Walt Buteau, a lot of folks that are here all around your screen here where we can all take turns answering your questions. It's Friday night. A lot of crews home with their family here, other than our crews, of course, that are obviously here in the field. So the only hashtag that we have here is hashtag KJB, and I'll feature some of the comments that we've received here in the last several minutes. Helen here, hashtag KJB. Could the parents be charged if they know something and not say anything? And I think that that is, of course, within the realm of possible here. But that's secondary, completely secondary to whether or not, first and foremost, Brian Laundrie is going to be charged with a crime. And we don't at this time.
He's wrong about that. The parents can't be charged because they weren't there. It's not, unless he killed him in the home or something, there's nothing parents can get in trouble for.
Here, that fact, that foundational fact here for the law and how the law works in this country, but that's the fact, innocent until proven guilty. And while the optics here with Brian remaining silent, they're poor. They're really, really nightmarishly poor here. Let's keep in mind, innocent until proven guilty here. Let's get to Kyra's comment here. Hashtag KJB. Is it possible they arrest the parents? The other cop mentioned handcuffs. Arresting the parents before arresting Brian would be, I would need some legal expert here to charge a parent with a crime and before charging Brian with a crime. Now let's just kind of, let's hear from the officer. Hold on.
All the pleas, he understands the purpose, the chanting, all that, but we ask for you guys to please be calm, okay? And respect the neighborhood, okay? But it's not helping what you're doing. You being here, we understand that. But the yelling, the profanities that were earlier, I'm not saying they are now, is not helping. So I just ask you please just to have respect for the neighborhood. We understand why you're here, and our officers have been very lenient in working with you all. I can't speak to that, but I'm here for you guys just to try to keep this calm and peaceful, all right? My officers we're here with you guys.
We're being peaceful, we just want answers.
Thank you with the bullhorn, thank you. So please, I ask you, please keep it down.
Is Brian dirty laundry in the house or not?
I thought we were good. Okay, we can talk over there.
I can't scream, so I'm asking.
Thank you, Reagan.
I ask you please again, on behalf of Chief Garrison, please respect the peace, okay? You guys can be here, but please respect that.
There's no peace until Gabby's found.
Are they showing her respect?
Where's Gabby?
Quiet, don't worry. Where's Gabby's respect? Where's her family's respect?
I don't know why they don't realize it's not just about Brian. What about all the neighbors? Like, have some respect for the neighbors. That's what the cops are saying. And they're not even respecting that. That's wrong. Thank you so much, Reagan. That is so wrong on so many levels.
These whereabouts is the #1 priority right now. That there's a right way to go about things, there's a wrong way to go about things. But at this point, I don't think anything is going to hush this crowd.
Where is Gabby?
Next step is we're blocking the roadway. Get him outside.
It could get a lot worse from here.
James, that was a joke. Like, I thought we were good here. I thought we were cool. He didn't mean it like they have a deal going.
I'll say this. The people have been arrested for less. And so I think that you heard the officer there talking about the word that came to mind is leniency. I can't think of many news stories where a crowd of people were on the front lawn. Remember when we started this stream, we had the picture of the entire crowd on the front lawn, and then it was the officer that pushed them back and pushed them back. I don't know if I've ever seen that being allowed for as long as it was allowed for. It was a period of 15, 20, maybe even more than 20 minutes where everyone was just on the front lawn of the Laundrie home and no one was being told to move backwards. It was a very bizarre, strange scene there, but eventually they told everybody to move back into the street. They're clearly obstructing traffic in this roadway. And folks, again, there have been people commenting, is this legal? In fact, where is the comment here, just so that I can prove to you that that this is the, well, we've had a lot of people asking without the hashtag, is this legal? Is this demonstration legal? Herbert Bryant, hashtag AJB, I think the police should try to keep the crowd outside the home quiet. Yeah, and not just for, well, it's really for the neighbors here, but the neighbors here, we have heard from neighbors here in this area, they are extremely upset that this is happening in their community, in their home. Just imagine if this was happening where you live. Imagine if it was happening just down the street, or worse, in the home right next to yours. And this has been reality for you the last several days. People just are outside of your home at all hours of the day, all hours of the night, and now reaching here a fever pitch with everybody chanting, including with megaphones here. So whether it's, back to the point I was trying to make, the officer said, we understand why you're here, we're being lenient, but people have been arrested for less. So if people continue to not cooperate with the commands of from investigators here, or from officers here, they're disturbing the peace. Could people actually leave here in handcuffs? I'm sure it's entirely possible, but at this time, I think that police understand why people are here, why people have gathered, and there's going to be a lot of leniency, but only to a point. Let's get to some more of the comments here in the Facebook Live comment section. As I promised, I'm just going to continue to take hashtag HJB comments here until we have some activity here outside of the house. Let's see. Gabby Culpepper, hashtag HJB, did the camera crews see anything being taken out of the car? Hey, commenters, this is where you guys can help us out. I was watching. I didn't see anything. But this brings us to another comment here, Gabby, from Kyle Kellerman. Hashtag HeyJB. Kyle's got a lot of rings in his hands there in his profile picture there.
Caslin, as far as I understand, there was no search warrant needed. The parents called them and were agreeing to speak with them. So they didn't actually need a search warrant because they were invited there and they were invited in. Yeah, they're not doing anything illegal. Making noise is not illegal. I think they have till 10 p.m. that they can legally protest. Do they have to let the neighbors around the corner hear them? No. Has it gotten them out of, has it gotten the parents out of silence? Well, maybe the cops have been in there 2 hours already. So there's a good chance that the plan is working. Maybe we should do this to Summer Wells' parents. Just protest on the front lawn.
Safe return, as are we all, hoping for a safe return. And we don't know, and I want to make this clear for Ashley's comment, while Ashley's comment is up here on screen, we don't know if anything is being collected inside of the home.
No, he's not.
And we don't know whether something is being collected, either if that's something connected to the Laundrie family or if that's a belonging of Gabby Petito. Remember, Gabby Petito is said to have lived in this home for an extended period of time. These two were engaged to be married. And people have commented at me and asked me if that's out of the ordinary to live at your fiance's house with their parent, with your future mother and father-in-law. And maybe, folks, you can comment at me again here. I don't think that that's very, much out of the ordinary here. You live in a lot of weird places or a lot of interesting places right after college or right, in your early 20s when you're trying to, set up the foundation for the rest of your life. Sometimes you'll be in different apartments. You'll stay in different family members' houses. I don't think that that's out of the ordinary, but that's just me speaking there. Again, let's get to the comments. We have a crew here that's kind of moving down the street. A little tap of the touchscreen here, and we can see that we are moving down the street.
Sam, that would be the worst case scenario.
Their vehicle to get ready for the 11 o'clock news here on WFLA. Let's listen in here for a moment and just see if there's any continuous shouting going on here, any noise, or whether the folks that have gathered here outside of the home, have they listened to officers and cooperated with officers in being quiet.
figure out how much longer we're going to need to stay here.
We're not going anywhere. Get your butt outside.
Yeah, we're Jason.
Again, we are not going
That's all right.
anywhere until you.
See, Sam brought up a really good point, though. Let's hope he doesn't kill himself. If he kills himself, we're never going to find out where she is. So Sam's got a really good point. Let's hope he doesn't do anything like that, because that would not be good at all. And it is a strong possibility.
Let's go to a camera shot here showing
Yeah, I
Brown.
played it last night, Columbo. Only by her, according to the cam footage, that she was the aggressor, not him. See, but Sam is right. This kind of pressure could cause him to do something, and then nobody will ever find her. I mean, it's a really good thought. I never even thought of it.
Here with you. Let's kind of reset with where we are. As a reminder, the very latest for you is on WFLA.com, the WFLA app, the latest on the search for Gabby Petito. There we have a hub for all of our articles connecting everything that we know right now with Gabby Petito's disappearance. So while we have an opportunity here, we'll go back to the live coverage here in just a second. But WFLA.com, the WFLA app, is where all the latest updates, everything that we have factually confirmed, everything from law enforcement, it's all on WFLA.com, the WFLA app, as well as analysis here. Now, what's interesting is here we have a woman that...
Columbo, I don't believe that story. I think that story is bullshit. I don't know why, but the second I heard it, I felt like this girl wants 15 minutes of fame on TikTok. I'm not buying it. I'll play it for you guys in a moment.
What did it mean for you to be out here tonight as police are going in and out of the home?
I just hope that somebody would do the same for me.
We want justice!
I hope that strangers, neighbors, the community would come together if it was me in my situation. So that's why I'm out here, and I feel like he's a coward. And even if it was an accident or, anything, really, I mean, he knows something. So for him not to say anything is just heart-wrenching for me, because as a mother of two boys, if something happened to either one of my boys, I certainly hope that whoever last seen them, which was Brian Laundrie, would say something, or say at least, it was an accident, or, whatever, and something happened, we got into an argument, whatever. But he's not saying anything, and so that's why I'm here. We're going to harass him until he comes out, and I'm okay with that.
To see all these people out here tonight, what does that tell you? What does that show you? To see all these people out here calling on him to speak and say something. What does that show you? What does that tell you?
Yeah, honestly, we were here when it kind of first started, so we kind of saw the police come in and everything else. So it was exciting to see that more and more and more people were coming, and everyone was chanting for her and in her corner, and to show her that even though we don't know her personally, we're here for you and you're not alone. I mean, I hope that wherever she is, she knows that people are fighting for her.
Wow. Last thing, I'll let you go. You've seen officers going in and out. What do you see them? Do you see them carrying things or bringing anything out, or what are you seeing officers do? What have you seen?
Definitely. I saw the first time they were carrying some paper bags, so maybe it's to collect something. Initially, I thought it was to cover his face, because I thought he was a coward and wouldn't come out with his face. But I think it's to collect evidence.
J-E-N-N or J-E-N?
J-E-N-N. Two N's.
Thank you so much.
Nascimento. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Hey, Jen Nascimento. That's my wife right there, baby.
Fist bump right there from Nico Clemens there to the woman. That's the calmest I've seen her all night. she's been screaming at the top of her lungs. So it was interesting there to see her in her calm voice. That's probably, that woman there has been the most vocal as far as using her vocal cords here to shout in the direction of this house. I think that she might be the one with the megaphone device. But quite frankly, based on some of the stuff that we were hearing, I don't know if she needs it. She's been shouting for hours now, but it was nice to hear her answer some questions from 8 on Your Sides. Nico Clemens here. We're live outside of the house there. Really, I mean, guys, turn up that iPhone brightness if you're watching on a mobile device, and you'll be able to see the faint outline of an officer that is keeping the peace here outside of the Laundrie home here. Again, let's reset, and then we have an entire queue of your hashtag AJB comments to get to here. Earlier on tonight, we got word of a demonstration that was going to occur outside of the Laundrie home. Of course, that's not something that any news outlet is going to share out information of and put on broadcast, just because first and foremost, it was unconfirmed reports. We didn't have a confirmed report that they were going to be organizing, and secondly, it's because of situations like this, because you don't know if there's somebody out there that might have really bad intentions as far as showing up here to the Laundrie home and doing something. We don't want this situation to get any worse. So we had some early word come into our newsroom regarding a demonstration outside of the home.
Okay, so while they're like doing filler mode, I'm gonna show you guys this video that Chasing Truth posted. It's only a couple minutes. I'm just not believing it. I don't know why. And I'll explain after.
At night at Cold. Hi, my name is Miranda Baker, and on August 29th, my boyfriend and I picked up Brian at Grand Teton National Park at 5:30 at night at Coulter Bay. I'm hoping this can help someone identify him, because I saw him from TikTok, which then made me call the authorities, and my boyfriend and I have been in contact with a bunch of different people to help piece together different parts of this case. But we picked him up at Coulter Bay, like I said, at 5:30. He approached us asking us for a ride because he needed to go to Jackson, which we were going to Jackson that night. So I said, hop in. He hops in the back of my Jeep. We then, proceeded to make small talk. But before he came in the car, he offered to pay us like $200 to give him a ride, like 10 miles. So that was kind of weird. He then told us he's been camping for multiple days without his fiance. He did say he had a fiance, and that she was working on their social media page back at their van. Then once, in conversation, I brought up, we're going to Jackson. He freaked out. He's like, nope, I need to get out right now. Pull over. So we pulled over at the Jackson Dam, which I don't know if you know, Teton Park, but it's not very far from Coulter Bay. And if this does, reach people, I can post pictures of, exactly where we were. We picked him up and the whole route or whatever, and screenshots of the timestamps. We dropped him off at 6:09 p.m. on August 29th. He kind of hurried out of the car, and then he's like, okay, I'm just gonna go find someone else to, hitchhike. And we're like, okay. It was a weird situation. So when we picked him up, he was wearing a backpack, he had a long sleeve pants, hiking boots, and he had scruff, but he didn't look dirty. For someone who was camping for multiple days, he didn't look dirty, he didn't smell dirty, so that part was kind of weird. And I'm just really hoping that they find her, and this helps someone remember seeing him, or something like that. Still, when he, to clarify anything that people are confused on still, when he asked to ride, he has to go to Jackson, which, if you're familiar with this area, a lot of people call Jackson Hole Jackson. So that's why I said yes to giving him a ride. But you think any good hiker would know south and north. We were going south of the park when he said he was camping north. He had told us that him and Gabby were not camping on a regulated campsite through the national park, that they were camping basically out in the middle of nowhere along Snake River. This is key information. He said that he had hiked for days along Snake River, but when looking at his backpack, it wasn't full, and he said all he had was a tarp to sleep on, which you think if you're going camping for days on end, you'd want food and a tent, and he had none of that. And like I said, he looked clean and didn't smell bad.
I'm just not buying it. I don't know. My gut tells me not to believe it. I can't tell you why. Oh, hold on.
Cellular phone being removed from that vehicle. Now, I can tell you that I was worried about the 7 screens, the touch screens here in front of me, and I did not catch a phone being removed from the Ford Mustang convertible, but that is entirely possible. Maybe we can get some hashtag Hey Jordan comments going in here in the Facebook Live comment section so that we can know that you're responding to Jordan and whether or not you saw the same. Did you see a phone get removed from the Ford Mustang convertible? That's an interesting note here. And again, to the comment earlier from Kyle, could they have just been getting stuff out of the car for the family inside because the family is afraid of coming out to face this crowd? That's entirely possible too. The family could be in there speaking with officers and say, listen, we have some stuff in the car. We don't feel comfortable. We don't feel that it's safe to leave our home right now. Can an officer of the law please go out there and retrieve these items from the Ford Mustang convertible? And that's entirely...
People lie on Facebook groups every day. They know this person. You would be surprised. Look at all the mentally ill people that we know. You'd be surprised what people would do for TikTok fame. Let me tell you why I don't believe it. Let's assume he killed her, okay? He had the van. There was no reason why he would need to hitchhike or hike out or camp somewhere where it's unknown. He had the van. That's why her story makes no sense to me. Unless someone can explain to me why he wouldn't be in his own van and was hiking somewhere without his van or without any of his stuff, if someone could give me a logical reason for that, I'll give her story some credibility, but there's absolutely no reason why he wouldn't have his own car and be hiking in the middle of nowhere with no car, no nothing. It just doesn't make sense. So that's why I'm not buying it. But if someone could give me that answer, I'm all for listening.
And we have a comment that just came in here a short time ago. Let's get to Brooke Donahue's comment here. Perfect segue here. Hashtag AJB. Have you heard anything about Brian possibly being missing as if he fled? I saw a comment saying that. The answer is no. So Chief Garrison, Northport Police Chief Garrison, said 3 times in the press conference.
No, he killed her. I'm sorry. The night they had the fight was on the 12th. Her parents saw her on the 25th. Saw her physically on the 25th. This girl was saying it's the 29th. I don't know. It's something in my gut, which isn't wrong often, but something in my gut tells me it's her story's bullshit. There's no reason he wouldn't have his own van. Even if he killed her, he would still have his van. There's no reason he would be so far away from the van. She did say that he said his girlfriend had the van, which is fine, but allegedly what were they separated for 5 days? I'm just not buying it. By the 29th, they think she was dead. But even if she wasn't, I can't explain it. I don't know. I'm just not buying it. and that he was camping by himself and she was away. I just can't. Yeah, he was back in Florida by the 1st. That's right. Yeah, he was back in Florida by the 1st. So, I mean, you can make it from Utah to Florida in 2 days if you don't stop. But we don't know what time he got back on the 1st or what time that was on the 29th. I'm just not buying it. I think it's bullshit. Yeah, but he wasn't the one that had the mental issues. She did. She was the one with the mental issues. How could they have picked him up on the 29th? Then he drove to Northport. That's 34-hour drive. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you.
It is. I can see Keith Williams. You know the guy there. I can hear him talking. The producer just emailed me. I know you're all up to your eyeballs. And he was like, come out.
Exactly. Point number 2. Exactly. The 29th, she said around 5:30 p.m. He wouldn't have had enough time to make it back by the 1st. Not only that, it just doesn't make sense. That he had the van all of a sudden, but he didn't have the van, but he was hitchhiking with 2 different people. Nah, I'm just not buying it. Chasing Truth found something that was suspect about it too. Oh, good. Because the comment section, everyone was so on it, and I wrote, I'm not buying this at all.
Calling for Brian Laundrie to come forward. There's so much frustration out there, and you can bang the glass on your iPhone or Android keyboard.
No, we do know Nan's life. It was in the video. It was in the video from the 12th that when they were arrested. We do know.
That are out there, that are people that wanted, what I was trying to get at, not that typing on a keyboard isn't going to accomplish anything. I don't want to be taken out of context. What I meant is that there are people that want to do more than just type. But with that said, there have been a lot of people online that have been trying to comb through. I had a link sent my way earlier that there are some sleuths on Reddit that are going through literally hours and hours of Yellowstone National Park webcam video to see if they have any hint of the van or Gabby or any clue that points them in the direction of Gabby Petito's whereabouts. And this is one of the better things that the internet and social media and collaborative efforts online can accomplish as far as people coming together and trying to do some good. So it's been heartwarming to see some of those efforts, but also at the same time we have to be responsible here in telling you, be very, very cautious as to the amount of misinformation that is out there. I had somebody or several people blow up my phone first thing this morning, right when I woke up, with this, I'm not going to say what it was an unsubstantiated claim, and then a couple hours later it was proven to be completely false and fabricated. Be very mindful that there are landmines of misinformation out there online. Keep it to the reputable sources of information here. We can have a conversation based on what we know and what we don't know here on WFLA Now, and we can stay rooted in reality. But when of course you're out on the web and looking for more on Gabby Petito's story and the latest facts that are out there, be mindful that a lot of times you're not going to find facts. You're going to find unsubstantiated claims and misinformation. Let's get to some more of the comments that are coming in here. I want to bring in Amber's comment. We did get a couple of #HeyJordan comments here for the comment. Let me put up Jordan's comment from earlier here. Again, this was unconfirmed, but Jordan Miller here had said, #HeyJB, a phone was removed from the vehicle when they were going through it. They put it in their pocket when it was passed out of the vehicle. And again, I told you I didn't see a phone get removed. And let's get to the comments that came in after that. Amber Bumgardner, #HeyJordan. I have a recording of what you're talking about. I believe the officer put something in his pocket. Okay? So there you have something perhaps going into the pocket. I think we're getting, oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah?
I did see that come through on social media.
I like him.
Okay. That's not that big of a... Okay. We just got in some new developments here from News Nation's Brian Enton. Great follow on Twitter. He's at the house, and he has confirmed, this is again via correspondent for News Nation, Brian Enton, our Florida correspondent for News Nation, and be sure to check out News Nation now. News Nation confirming that Brian Laundrie is not in this home.
That's not
in this house.
We knew that already.
Family members of Brian Laundrie are said to be in this house, but not Brian Laundrie himself. So that's a new update that we just got in here moments ago. And again, we're talking about credible sources of information. 8 on your sides. Allison Henning, find her online, on Twitter, on social media. Find
JB, you're late. We knew that 2 hours ago.
Find Masa Saidi, Walt Buteau, and News Nation's Brian Enton. You'll get reliable, credible information from those sources, including from us here at WFLA and WFLA.com, the WFLA app. Good opportunity to remind you that we have a hub there for everything related to Gabby Petito and what we know at this time. So you can find it on WFLA.com and the WFLA app. Let's come.
Yeah, but Val, he would have had the van. There's no reason that he wouldn't have the van. That's why they're there with the van. The whole story is off. It's like people want to believe it, but if you really think about it, the story makes no sense. And if she got caught lying, she could say, oh, well, it looked just like him. I could have sworn it was him.
Prayers to Gabby and her family for a safe return. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to ask our team members here. I know we have some members of the newsroom here. Maybe we can get that clip of when they were going through the Ford Mustang here in the driveway, and we can pass along that information to you, or that video. We can watch that video here together and pass along the information. Maybe we can look a little bit closer as to what was being taken out of the vehicle. We are live here without a break of any kind here. So I'll stay here with you live, folks, to answer your questions. And again, one more time, all lights here at the scene have been powered down because the last thing that you want to have happen is activity at the house and then your lights go out because you don't have power. So all the lights that have been set up here for news crews are powered down right now to conserve battery for that moment when something does in fact happen. So it's dark right now. If something lights up, you know something's happening here because news crews spotted something. They're powering up. Look at that. I swear I didn't plan it. Let's listen in.
Here we go. Me neither, Columbo.
What do you have to say?
Where is Gabby?
Say something. Everybody here is waiting. This is your community. This is your community.
Northport police, say something! Say something! Say something! Northport police, say something!
We deserve answers.
Give us an answer!
We deserve answers.
Queen Bee, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, what do you mean he put it in his pocket? I was going to address it after. No, the van is in police custody.
Give us some answers!
But they want answers, and rightfully so. We want answers too. That's their noise, because you're going, I'm screaming right from the monitor.
That was over quick.
Yeah, I know. Wasn't it?
See anything?
Yeah, I mean, I got them getting in the car and then the car driving by. Yeah. How about you? I saw you pop out, yeah.
Yeah,
You had to.
I got them coming out. And then
Yeah,
I've got Avis's down there, so.
Yeah, I saw, yeah.
Where the fuck is Brian? Oh, dude, you're on it. I'm on it. We're all on it.
Not at all.
Officers leaving the scene here of Brian Laundrie's family's home here in Northport, Florida, continuing to listen in.
Hey, well.
Off your cards. Do you want me to?
Yeah, and I got this, so they'll probably want this.
They're right here. Hey, Avis.
Here's my angle. I don't have a lot. You guys, I figured you were down there.
I mean, like
I got it, coming out, I got a pretty good shot.
of them. Oh, the cops. Okay, because I get the cops going in. I was on the other side.
Yeah, so I think we're good. Because what I couldn't get, I think you were there.
Yeah.
All right, some news chatter there from our crews there in the field trying to just decipher what exactly just happened here. And what we know is that officers left. We don't know at this time if all of the officers left, but it certainly, as of right now, multiple officers left the Laundrie home. So we can't say that all of the officers are gone there. Again, this is clearly an issue where safety is on the minds here of officers with the Northport Police Department. They don't want any crime being committed here by any of the folks that have gathered here outside of the home. There are some emotionally charged people who are really invested in the Gabby Petito case here that are outside of the home here. And the last thing that we want, last thing that officers want, the last thing that anybody wants really is any incident happening here tonight. So could there be an additional officer, whether it's in the home, outside of the home, stationed in a vehicle right there on the street? It's entirely possible. But officers seen leaving the Laundrie home there, and it's hard to know based on our camera vantage point there what they left with. And that's going to be the big question. We're going to have a live report here coming up here from 8 on your sides. Allison Henning coming up here in just a moment. We'll get you back out to the live feed. They're powering down now here. Just a bit of a break for our equipment. News camera equipment does need rest, just like anyone does. So they're powering down here for just a moment. We'll get back to our live coverage here and decipher exactly what just happened outside of the Laundrie home. But we can say with certainty, of course, that officers left the home. Allison Henning has just called in here, and let's see if we can bring in Allison in any way here. Hopefully, Allison, shoot me a text. I want to hear from you. Shoot me a text here on my phone, because what I'm trying to do here is finding out if you're going to be joining us via the live camera feed or if you're going to be joining us via the cell phone, because if you're joining us via phone, I could bring you up here on the phone. Oh, no. Okay, you are joining us via the camera feed. The camera feed is back up. Allison, if you have us, what just happened here at the Laundrie household?
Hey, JB, can you hear me all right?
I can hear you, Allison. You're live here on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and WFLA.com, the WFLA app. What just happened here outside the Laundrie household?
Alrighty. So just a few seconds ago, we did see 4 officers come out from Brian Laundrie's parents' home. As you remember, his family, his parents, invited police here to talk to them, so this was at their request. They got here about 6:20, so it's just about 9 o'clock. So they were here for some time, but you know, of course, there's quite a crowd out here tonight who was kind of demanding some answers, not just from Brian and his family, but from the police. What kind of conversation happened inside there? There was a minivan parked in the driveway, a police minivan, and the officers got in, they cleared the roadway, and they drove off. They did not say anything about what happened inside that home. Northport police did tell us that they are going to be giving some sort of an update. I'm not sure if that's going to come tonight. but they said to expect an update at some point. Of course, I think everyone here, everyone at home, they want to know kind of what happened inside that home. But at this point in time, Northport police, who left the scene here, their lips were sealed. They did not say anything about exactly what happened inside.
Allison Henning reporting here, folks, and we're working on any updates that we can get in here to the newsroom, because this is a very active scene, and we, based on of course what we have here in the newsroom and what's going on here, we don't anticipate this coming to a close anytime soon. We're getting in some information to our newsroom that there might be additional developments. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna keep you posted here on the very latest here. Allison, we're looking here. Just confirm here for us, Allison, that we got additional reporters here just stationed outside of the Laundrie home.
Yes, lots of reporters stationed outside the Laundrie home right now.
All right, here's my question. How did Brian get out of the house? That's what one of the things the parents were complaining about, that they can't get out of the house. So how did Brian escape out of the house with all these people in front? No, I got this off Twitter. I'm feeding this off Twitter.
Just clear up. You know, obviously, this is the most activity I've seen out here over the past.
I think he pushed her off a cliff, Amy. That's my guess.
A lot of neighbors out here as well. It's been a lot of chanting happening. So please.
Allison, stand by here for a moment, folks.
This is a neighborhood as well.
Allison, stand by for a moment, folks. We have a major breaking development here just into the newsroom. We're back in 60 seconds.
Major breaking development. Back in 60 seconds. But, so you guys are stuck with me. I don't know, but that's, the parents are saying they can't leave the damn house. That's why they're called. FBI is on him. He could have left days ago, but he didn't leave with his car. His Mustang's there. And the police have the van. They didn't use them all night. Alright, let's see what's going on.
Breaking news on WFLA Now. Here is JB Buno.
Just into the newsroom moments ago, confirmed by our sister station Pix 11 in New York, Brian Laundrie, the fiance of Gabby Petito, the person of interest in her disappearance, is officially missing. His
oh my
whereabouts
God!
are known at this time, putting him in the same exact situation here. As
oh
far
my
as
God!
his status as his fiance, Gabby Petito. Gabby Petito is missing, and now Brian Laundrie is missing. Again, confirmed here by WFLA.com here moments ago, folks. This is not the update that we wanted. After Chief Garrison said a couple of days ago they know exactly where Brian is, and looked into the camera and told the public, we know where Brian is, the situation has changed. Brian's whereabouts at this hour are unknown, as confirmed by Pix 11 here. So first and foremost, all week long we have been saying here, where is Gabby? Now the question is, where is Brian Laundrie? We've been here outside of the house here, and now a picture is emerging here. We're starting to piece all of this together. We did not know why officers were here at the Laundrie household earlier. About an hour ago, we told you the News Nation Now's Brian Enton confirmed that Brian Laundrie was not in this house, but we did know that there was a chance that he was staying in a home in this area because of family potentially in the area. We now know here through Pix 11 and from News Nation, as we understand it, that right now no one knows where Brian Laundrie is, or if they do, they're not talking. Allison Henning, are you there? Still with us? Again, we lost Allison. And hold on, folks. There's some chatter going on in our newsroom. Back in 30.
Dude, what the fuck? If he's missing, we're screwed. Like, we're never going to get answers. We're never, ever going to get answers. And she will never be found if he's missing. Like, really missing. So parents think, well, we don't know. Maybe they do know something. We don't know. When was the last time he was around? Allison's missing now. Not Allison.
Brian Laundrie is missing, but Pix 11, our sister station in New York, and again, this is a story that intersects a lot of different states. Those states, of course, being Utah and Wyoming, where Gabby was last known to be in that area of the country. New York, where they departed from and where a lot of members of the family are in New York on Long Island, and also here in Florida, the scene that you're currently watching here outside of the Laundrie home. For those of you just joining us, if you're just finding us on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, this story has now taken a major turn of events. Brian Laundrie is said to be missing and confirmed to be missing by Pix 11. Hey, Allison Henning, I believe, is now joining us from the scene. Allison, are you hearing anything there? Has news reached the folks that have gathered there at this scene outside of the Laundrie household that Brian is not just not in this house, but his whereabouts are unknown at this hour?
You know, obviously this just came into our newsroom. I'm kind of looking around. It doesn't look like the crowd out here is aware at this point just yet. I'm sure they're going to be here in the next few minutes. A lot of the people who came out here kind of left as police did. There's still quite a few people here, but it has kind of calmed down a little bit since the police exited the Laundrie household in the last 10-20 minutes or so. But yeah, no, at this point, not that I can see, I cannot see that anyone here is aware or talking about it in terms of, you know, people from the Northport community who are out here right now.
All right, so listen, we just got in some more information. Allison, stand by here. This is on WFLA.com, the WFLA app, where you can find all this information. The information I'm about to read to you folks is from our hardworking crew here at WFLA.com. This is what we just got in here moments ago. According to Brian Laundrie's attorney, and again, I'll read the office here, that's Stephen Bertolino, an attorney's office in East Islip, New York. According to Brian Laundrie's attorney, the whereabouts of Brian Laundrie are currently unknown. The quote that was released and the statement that was released, I'll read as follows. The FBI is currently at the Laundrie residence removing property to assist in locating Brian. As of now, the FBI is now looking for both Gabby and Brian. Several members of the Northport Police Department entered the home of Brian Laundrie, the fiancé of missing 22-year-old Gabby Petito, on Friday evening. Yes, that continues on here with what we are knowing now. Let's look here at the scene, and Allison, I would imagine that it's just a matter of time before news reaches this crowd that not just Gabby is missing, Brian Laundrie is missing. Let's listen in.
Yeah, you know, I think it's probably just a matter of minutes at this point. You know,
I like him
I should
too.
mention a lot of people have been streaming all of this on their phones, so I think a lot of people, their phones actually died. So that might be part of the reason why some folks are not getting the news quite yet. But yeah, I'm sure it's just a matter of moments here. Right now, you probably hear some hollering in the background. That's Northport Police asking people to clear the roadway. It's continued to be kind of an issue out here tonight with so many people trying to see what's going on here at the Laundrie household.
Allison, if you have to run, we'll let you go here, but what are we looking at here on our screens?
Looks like we've got some Northport police officers. It's very dark out here, even for me. Looks like they were just opening some sort of a box. I'm not sure if that has anything to do with what they were doing inside, or if that's just some of their gear that they were just checking on. But
is that pizza?
Anything major that we should be concerned about?
Allison Henning reporting for us at the scene here. Again, combing through a lot of new information that is just coming in here, folks. It's Friday night. It's 9:04 Eastern time here, this September 17th. And this is now a major development in the Gabby Petito disappearance. Her fiancé, the man that was with her on the road on this cross-country road trip from New York all the way out to Grand Teton National Park in northwest Wyoming, Brian Laundrie, is missing. No one knows where Brian is. And it seems it's going to make some of the moments on stream here that we were talking about earlier seem a bit silly, because we were talking about whether or not the FBI or members of law enforcement were here for protection reasons to keep this from escalating here in Northport, Florida. But we now have it confirmed from the attorney for Brian Laundrie that they were there at the house to collect evidence because they don't know where he is. So it is confirmed Brian Laundrie is missing. They were at this house collecting evidence to hopefully track him down. What's interesting about this is that this is now a missing persons case. Allison, we've been talking about a missing persons case pertaining to Gabby Petito. Now we have a missing persons case. This is not a manhunt. Brian Laundrie has been charged with a crime. His disappearance, Allison, is extremely alarming here. But again, at this time, and I just want to have this confirmed here, we have not heard of Brian Laundrie being charged with a crime. So this is now a missing persons case for both Gabby Petito and her fiance, Brian Laundrie.
Yeah, that appears to be the case. And, you know, it's interesting now that the Laundrie family has invited police into their home. We saw them, of course, going through that vehicle, which, you know, now knowing that he is gone, is that his vehicle? I'm not sure. I'm not sure otherwise why they would be going into it, possibly collecting some evidence in there, obviously, based off what his attorney said that was the reason why they were here. So, you know, the question now is, could whatever they gathered in this home, up until this point, obviously, it was a bunch of silence. So now, you know, now that they were able to collect some data to help find him, could this also help in finding Gabby?
You know what's interesting, Allison, and I know that you cover Northport, and I know that you, of course, covered the press conference several days ago with Chief Garrison, Northport police chief there, and he said several times, we know where Brian is, we know where Brian is. That was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And now here we are, and they don't know where Brian is. So we have, and what I think the next question that's going to be extremely important is, we've been asking all week long, where and when was Brian known to last be at a particular location? Now, or excuse me, Gabby was where Gabby was known to be in a particular location. Now the question is going to be, when and where was the last time we saw Brian Laundrie? Because we knew as of a couple of days ago, the police knew exactly where he was. But now it's going to be, was he last seen here in Sarasota County or in the Tampa Bay area here on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday? When was the last time that we saw Brian Laundrie? And this is going to be now the major question as investigators track down, try not to just track down Brian, but try to track down Gabby as well.
Right, yeah, JB, and I know you said it was a couple of days ago. Actually, I know this all seems like a long stretch of time, but it was actually just yesterday when we heard from Chief Todd Garrison. So when that question was asked, do you know where Brian is? He said yes. We asked if he was at the home. A reporter asked that question. He said, all I will say is I know where he is. So that was just yesterday, that news conference happened at noon on
apologies,
Thursday. So,
because Allison knows that in this industry the days can blur together. So let me just apologize for our viewers. That was yesterday. So now, if they knew, Allison, at this press conference yesterday, that they knew where Brian was at that time during that press conference, that was in the afternoon, and then all of a sudden now here tonight we don't know where he is. Something, of course, obviously drastically changed now, and the question now becomes: is Brian on the run?
Right. Yeah, I think that is the question. You know, and it makes you wonder, was he ever at this house at all, or has he been staying somewhere else this entire time? Because Chief Garrison yesterday would not confirm where he was. Was he in Northport? Was he in Sarasota County? Was he in Manatee County with other family? We're still not sure. So, you know, that's definitely a big question at this point in time. And it's unclear exactly what kind of information, what kind of, you know, elements that officers were able to gather from this home, from the parents who, you know, called them here tonight, because they don't know where their son is, because the FBI does not know where Brian Laundrie is right now.
And as soon as we have new information to pass along here to you from a confirmed, reputable source, we'll of course do so here. But again, Pix 11 in New York confirming through Stephen Bertolino's office. That's the law firm
Thank
that
you,
was
Susie.
brought on by the Laundrie family. Stephen Bertolino's family saying, and I'll read this from WFLA.com, the FBI is currently at the Laundrie residence. This was a short time ago. I'll read it again. The FBI is currently at the Laundrie residence for moving property to assist in locating Brian. As of now, the FBI is looking for both Gabby and Brian. This doesn't bode well for investigators now who had it as it's been difficult, of course, tracking down Gabby's whereabouts. Now they're simultaneous missing person investigations going on here, Allison. They have to track down Gabby Petito, but you know, to track down Gabby Petito, I think you start now with Brian Laundrie, and tracking down Brian Laundrie might lead us to finally knowing what happened to Gabby.
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge piece of this puzzle that was missing and is still missing, and now missing on a different level. You know, actually, Brian Laundrie is missing at this point. So, yeah, that's going to be another hurdle for law enforcement for sure. You know, they said, obviously, with the whole, with Gabby being missing and with her last known location being in Wyoming, there is such a huge, vast area between Wyoming and Florida that they were already battling with. And now this element added to that, of course, they had been pleading with Brian Laundrie as well as his family to give them any information that they have to help, to be that puzzle piece to help find Gabby, or at least, you know, get a better idea of exactly.
So the question remains, though, is this something set up by his parents and the lawyer? Is this something that his lawyer decided to tell everybody so he can get a clean run? Is it not made up? Is it not bullshit? Nobody knows. You know, did he come back on the 1st and then disappear on the 5th and nobody's seen him since? When the day she reported missing, is that what, like, we don't have enough answers?
Missing and vanishing now, and sneaking away from the attention of Northport police here in Florida does not bode well for how the Gabby Petito story is going to end. There have been people who have been commenting nonstop this sentiment. If you were innocent, then you would talk. There have been people that have been saying that. Now, Stephen Bertolino, lawyer, commented this. This is the statement from several days ago. And I want to make sure that I have this right. Many people are wondering why Mr. Laundrie would not make a statement or speak with law enforcement in the face of Ms. Petito's absence. In my experience, intimate partners are often the first person that law enforcement focuses their attention on in cases like this, and the warning that any statement made will be used against you is true, regardless of whether my client had anything to do with Ms. Petito's disappearance. As such, on the advice of counsel, Mr. Laundrie is not speaking on this matter. So that was the reason why Brian Laundrie wasn't coming forward. It was on the advice of his attorney at the time, that attorney being Stephen Bertolino in New York. And the idea is that even if Brian tried to clear his name in speaking or issuing a statement, that the public was going to twist that in a way that would make him look like he was responsible for Gabby's disappearance. But here we are now, Friday night. Brian is missing. Law enforcement searching for Brian, and this is now a case where the optics things do not look good for Brian Laundrie, and perhaps they look even worse for Gabby Petito. Yeah, what do you got, Allison?
Hey, I apologize if you mentioned this. I've been kind of, scrolling through my phone to see if there's anything going on. Of course, monitoring the scene out here as well. Did you see this tweet from Chief Todd Garrison? It came out here 15 minutes ago.
No, why don't you read it? I'll bring it up here, and why don't you read it here for us?
Yeah, sure. The tweet from Northport Police Chief Todd Garrison saying the conversation at the Laundrie home is complete. Once we have the details, a statement will be made. We ask for calm. Please let us work through this, and information will be forthcoming. That coming from, again, Chief Todd Garrison of the Northport Police Department.
And Northport Police, Allison, this is not. Let's just put it out there. This isn't good for Northport Police. Northport Police and Chief Garrison, who said that we know where Brian is, and we're keeping tabs on Brian. Basically, that was what Garrison was saying. This is now, maybe we could, this just does not bode well for Northport Police, to say the least.
No. They've been telling us all week how frustrated they have been with this case because of its complexity, because of the distance, because of, their person of interest in this case refusing to speak, refusing to cooperate, his family refusing to speak, and of course just handing over an attorney's name and number. But yeah, now this added layer, it's going to be challenging. There's no doubt about that. The chief just yesterday at noon told us he knew where Brian Laundrie was, and now here we are tonight outside his house. It's obviously street lined with people from the community, media, and police, and no one knows where he is.
Just a shocking turn of events here. Now, I say shocking, I'm sure that there are commenters that aren't surprised by this. There have been commenters, and this is what we do here on WFLA Now. We interact with our commenters. We don't ignore our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube comment sections. We bring you into the conversation. We're going to continue to do so with some of your hashtag HJB comments here. But there have been people who have been saying all along here that something stinks. This doesn't feel right. That something about this is unbelievably offsetting.
I agree.
And why a man who says, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you, getting engaged to a 22-year-old and seemingly being in bliss on this cross-country road trip, returns without that person, without the person that you pledged to spend the rest of your life with by getting engaged to that person. It's just, it's all led up to this point now where now we have Brian Laundrie perhaps on the run, missing here. They don't know where he is here at this hour, for those of you just joining us. Allison, I'm going to let you get going. I know that you have work to do here as far as our 11 o'clock newscast. Is that correct?
Nico Clemens is working on that right now. We were kind of holding the scene down here to make sure we didn't miss anything. So we've got our camera set up. I'm here just watching, just in case something happens. Okay, so we'll stay here with you live, Allison. And if you have to leave here and handle something there at the Laundrie household, you just kind of let us know. This is now. I think it's probably battery.
Battery. We've been talking about battery all night, and battery being a concern here. But we'll continue to monitor your shot here, Allison. Let's in the meantime, we're going to ask for some more hashtag HeyJB. Hell, give us your hashtag Hey Allison comments here in the Facebook Live comment section. Allison reporting for us here. Everybody at the scene of the household. Allison, hopefully you're doing all right. You've been working unbelievably hard all week long, and a big shout out to you and your photographers for providing the coverage that you have here for us in the Tampa Bay area. So, folks, we want to bring you into the conversation here. This is a major twist of events, major turn of events, major developments here in this story that Brian Laundrie is officially missing. The attorneys say that they don't know where he is, and really this puts the chances of Gabby Petito being found safe and sound in a really difficult position. And we're hoping that there is still a slim chance of hope that this all reaches a happy ending of some kind. But with this recent development here, things are looking particularly bleak. We want to get to your comments here in the Facebook Live comment section. Use hashtag HeyJB, hashtag Hey Allison to react to these new recent developments. We'll animate your comments here on screen. If you don't want your comment to be featured here on screen, just don't use the hashtag, and we'll let your comment scroll on by, and you can continue to converse with your fellow commenters and your fellow viewers here on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. But Allison, again here.
Maybe not, Christine. He might be dead. He could have killed himself, but I don't know. There's something in my gut that's telling me that it's very possible that he went back to the body, wherever she was, and that's where he is. And they need to find him on the path, because I have a feeling that's what's happening. His Instagram is active, but he hasn't posted since July.
And the few people left standing, and from it's very, very dark out here, but from what I can see, appear to be people from the community. I'm not sure if they live in this neighborhood or not. Are kind of looking down on their phones. I'd imagine they might be reading something about, you know, the whole situation that obviously this major development in the story, Brian Laundrie now missing, the FBI not knowing his whereabouts.
We've been told, Allison, that your crew here needs to power down to conserve battery here for our 11 o'clock newscast coming around WFLA. Any final thoughts here from the scene?
You know, I think obviously I've been covering this since, Tuesday, since I've been on scene. This is, you know, I think something that nobody expected. We were all hoping that this conversation inside this house was going to be something that would be a step closer to finding Gabby. And unfortunately, JB, as you mentioned, it feels bleak. It really does. It feels like a step in the other direction in terms of finding Gabby. So, you know, obviously we're going to keep a really close eye on it out here from the scene. Obviously staying in touch with Northport PD and see what developments we can hear from them. Obviously they will be having some sort of update for us here once they are ready for that. But in the meantime, I think they're just asking for patience as they kind of process what they're getting, you know, into their facility right now in terms of this whole situation and Brian Laundrie, his location being unknown.
Allison Henning reporting for us. You'll catch her tonight on WFLA News Channel 8. And, of course, her latest reporting on WFLA.com and the WFLA app. Hey, Allison, thanks a whole lot. And we're back here live, everybody, with you on WFLA now. And really, the situation here is unfolding rapidly. As soon as we have another live feed, our crews now have to conserve battery here. And really, the Laundrie household is... I mean, it's worth showing you, of course, if there's any developments there at the Laundrie household, but now a search is underway for Brian Laundrie, and it goes well beyond clearly just this one particular block of Northport, Florida. It goes beyond Northport. It goes beyond the county here. It's really the entire...
Here's my thing, though. Think about this. So your son is a point of interest for a missing, you know, his missing fiance. The whole family is hush-hush. Nobody's saying a word. Everyone's keeping quiet, and nobody's saying anything. We don't know how long your son is missing. On September 17th, you call the police because your family is missing. I mean, your son is missing. Your point of interest son is missing. So you call the police. The police just yesterday, said that they knew where he was. I'm sorry, the FBI said they knew where he was. Well, it turns out that's a lie, because they either lied yesterday or something. But today, the FBI doesn't know where he is. He's officially missing, according to the FBI. So, wouldn't logic tell you to tell the police everything you know in order to help your son? Like, I think even if you were quiet at that point, you tell the cops everything. It's at that point you say, you know what? I really need to tell you guys everything that we know in order for you guys to help me find my son. That to me is a mother instinct almost, that it's common sense. Give them everything and let them help. Well, Anastasia, we don't know. The cops wouldn't say anything. The cops didn't give any kind of anything. And that's why the protesters were so pissed off that the cops didn't say anything. You know, protesters want answers. Like, just say something. Say something to us. Tell us what happened. You know, they didn't know if he was inside or not. So I understand why they couldn't say anything due to the development that came out. But at the same time, it would have been nice if they said that, you know, we're working on something. We need confirmation first, or we need approval by an attorney, or we need approval by the FBI, something. That would have been better than them just walking away in silence. That's just my opinion. But as a parent, I would think that they would have told the cops everything they know at that moment if their son is really missing and not on the run that they know of.
To Brian Laundrie here, the situation could really worsen as far as the Petito family's hope of tracking down Gabby Petito. So
See, I thought of that too, Sissy, and I thought, why isn't the attorney there? Then I realized, because the attorney is his attorney, not the parent's attorney. I thought of that.
Right now, because escaping and going missing doesn't help your situation. It doesn't help your situation if you're Brian Laundrie. This dramatically makes things worse. And we were talking about this in the comment section a short time ago. We were talking about it on several streams. Somebody asked me about the Cancun thing. We mentioned here on stream that because Brian is a person, we're getting into semantics here. Brian being a person of interest, not a suspect, and not being charged with any crime. I asked on stream here, and we had a conversation about it yesterday with our team, our entire panel here. If Brian booked a plane ticket for Cancun, could he legally leave the country and go to Cancun and go and travel internationally? And the answer is yes, because he's a free man, he's a person of interest. But at the time, because he's not being charged with any crime, and he has his passport, he's able to leave and go where he wants. He's a free person. He's not being charged with the crime. Here we are now, and Brian's location now is unknown, and we don't know where he is. That's not to say that he's traveled that far, but it again points to him being a person of interest, not being charged with any crime. He's allowed to.
All right, to my Facebook people that keep saying, stop saying he's missing, he is missing. And I'm not saying that by his parents', statement. I'm saying that the FBI has officially released a statement that they do not know where he is. So wherever they thought he was, he's no longer there. So according to the FBI, they no longer know where he is, which would make him missing. That's why missing is the right term. We don't know he's on the run. He could have killed himself. He could absolutely be on the run, no doubt, or he could be dead somewhere in a ditch. We don't know. Clove, nobody knows. That answer we don't have yet. To the press, say something about a maroon truck that was usually in their driveway, but is not there now. I don't know.
Here solo here on WFLA Now. So usually there's hashtag Hey Walt, hashtag Hey Masa, hashtag Hey Allison. A lot of folks usually contributing to these live streams. It's just me. So if you want to get my attention in our social media comment section, use hashtag HeyJB. Let's get to this comment here from Kerry. Kerry, hashtag HeyJB, do you think that the police will have a statement tonight? We did have that statement from Chief Garrison of Northport Police. And let me see if I can read that here for you. Here, folks. Here it is. The conversation at the Laundrie home. This is from Chief Todd Garrison, Northport Police Chief, who's in the thick of it right now. Let's just say that. Chief Garrison reporting on Twitter this following statement. The conversation at the Laundrie home is complete. Once we have the details, a statement will be made. We ask for calm. Please let us work through this, and information will be forthcoming. And then, of course, he tagged Northport Police. That's what we have. That's the statement, Kerry, that we currently have here at this time. Let's get to some more of the comments that are coming in here. Amy is joining us from the Nashville area. Hello there to you, Amy. Thanks for joining us here.
Amanda, 1, screenshots can be faked very easily. But 2, why would she text her mom about somebody when she picked him up when she didn't even know who he was then? That's suspect too. There's no reason for her to text her mom. So, I mean, you can believe it. I'm not saying no. I'm just saying I'm not buying it. He went home because he lived there. That's where him and Gabby lived. They lived at his mom's house for the last 2 years.
The story that it did. And remember, Northport Police were confident as of 36 or so hours ago, they knew exactly where Brian was. And they're not, I can't imagine that they're saying that based on tracking a cell phone or following the advice of, I'm sure that it's based on, and I would hope.
All right, here's a fucking crazy ass twist. What if they're both alive and this was all planned out by them? And this was the plan all along. Why? I have no idea. But I'm trying to be hopeful here. I'm trying to think, let's think hopeful. I just saw that's what. No, I just don't believe her. I don't know why. I just don't. I just don't. The whole thing is just suspect to me. First, Gabby's missing and don't tell him what happened to Brian. I agree with that, Adrian. But I'm just saying, like, what if by some weird twist of fate, they're both alive and this was all planned out? Well, that they planned this and they're running away together. That's what I'm saying. You never know. It's a long shot, but at least they both be alive. That's exactly what I'm saying. You just never know. With both of them missing, I mean, are the odds in that favor? Definitely not. But stranger things have happened. But when you want to disappear, you would put your parent. You would do that. But don't forget, I don't think she was that close with her parents. Because, I mean, she was living with him in Florida for the last 2 years. And then they were going on a cross-country trip. Have you seen Miranda Baker's TikTok? Is that girl that did this bullshit story about the hitchhiker? If that's her, no. I mean, I did, yeah. I don't buy it. That's what Lamont is saying. It's a game. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm just saying it's possible. I'm just throwing out happy theories. Because, and the only reason I'm saying it, though, is like, if you think about it, with him missing now, it kind of sets it up like, hey, maybe they're in this together. It doesn't mean she wasn't close to her parents. She wasn't. She did. Her mom said that or something. She didn't call him every day. She wasn't, like, the same reason why the last time she allegedly got a text from her was the 30th, but didn't report her missing 11 days later. That would be like my mom. And I'm close to my mom, but I don't call her every day anymore. Same thing. I did when I was 20s, but not now.
Everyone makes mistakes. This is clearly a major mistake by law enforcement. Just there's no way to sugarcoat it.
I
and
agree.
I think that if you had a law enforcement officer with Northport Police right now on, they would say, yeah, this isn't a bright light on law. This has been a very complicated case from the beginning, but with the entire world knowing about this story, with multiple agencies involved, how did Brian Laundrie get away and slip out of the hands of investigators? Now, let's also keep in mind here that at any moment, law enforcement could say, hey, found him. He's here. He's there. And they could be at the scene of a Laundrie family house, or a friend's. Maybe Laundrie has a friend here in the area that he's staying with, and they're combing through all those leads right now. This is a lot of folks here are being extremely critical of law enforcement here, but everyone makes mistakes. This is clearly a black eye on this story here as far as the law enforcement and how they've been handling it. There have been people that have been very critical of our legal system here in this country over the last several days because of the fact that they couldn't bring in Brian for questioning and they couldn't charge him with a crime. I had just to go over kind of how emotionally invested people are.
Savannah, mine's the same way, but she checks my social media. So as long as she sees a YouTube video posted or Facebook update or something with the business, then she knows I'm okay.
The U.S. Constitution to find Gabby. That was what a woman said. I would put the comment on screen, but I can't because it didn't have a hashtag. But that's how emotionally invested people are in this story. And they feel, and I know that a lot of you in the comment section, I'm reading those comments right now, a lot of you feel that this is a very bad day for law enforcement, and it's a very bad day for our legal system because these two clearly go on a road trip together. One comes home, one doesn't. Writing's on the wall. So it's and you'll have to forgive me, folks. This has been several days now of reading through thousands of your comments. It's part of my job here at WFLA and on WFLA Now is to read through your comments and bring you into the conversation here. So Diana's comment here, as well. This is a comment that a lot of you are asking. No service in Yosemite takes on completely new meaning. No service in Yosemite was the last text message sent from Gabby's phone to Gabby's mother. And Gabby's mother said, this isn't right. Something doesn't add up. This doesn't feel like Gabby. Now here we are, and everything is possible. Anything is possible at this point. But really, let me just echo this one statement here before we continue reading comments here. Prayers still for Gabby being found alive. I know that this recent development doesn't bode well for that outcome, but still sending prayers here. We're all human. Us reporters here, we're human, and hoping that Brian is able to provide information once he's tracked down, to provide information to find this 22-year-old girl safe. I know that there are a lot of people out there who are skeptics, and quite frankly, you can't blame anybody who's a skeptic right now. You know, as far as Gabby Petito, but I'm going to try. And I know that people out there hopefully are nodding their head in agreement, just trying to maintain even a shred of hope that Gabby is found alive here. Diana, thanks a lot for your comment here. Let's get to Bry Wheatley. Hey there, Bry. Hashtag KJB. If the family requested law enforcement / the FBI, I'm wondering if the family is worried that he was there and then left without anyone knowing. Now they are reporting him missing. So let's go over the situation here. And this is from Northport Police on Twitter. They said that the Laundrie family.
Brenda, I'm the same way. I wouldn't either.
Today requested law enforcement at their home. The major 180 from where we were even just earlier today and this afternoon. The Laundrie family wanted Gabby, the Laundrie family wanted law enforcement to come to their home, and now we know why. Brian's missing. Now, it's a parent's instincts to protect their child. So there's two scenarios here, and there's only two scenarios here. Let's focus on Brian Laundrie's parents here for a second. There's only two scenarios. They know where Brian is, or they don't know where Brian is. Now, I've had some comments here in previous days saying that, parents who have been commenting at me saying, I would do anything to protect my child. I think a lot of parents who were joining us here on the stream would echo that. I would do anything to protect my child.
That was the question I asked last night.
Again, two scenarios here. Brian Laundrie's parents know where Brian is, or they don't. They know where Brian is, and they don't want to reveal it because they're trying to protect their child, or they don't know, and they're extremely worried about what happens next. I think really in either outcome, they're extremely worried about what happens next. But
exactly, Goldie, duh.
What we're getting at here. Laundrie's parents now are completely enveloped in this story. They were already, but this is now directly with them, as far as them being here. And you would hope that it's the latter. You would hope that what they were doing when they hired the attorney, when they hired Stephen Bertolino from New York to represent Brian, or when they brought in, whether they hired him or not, it was pro bono, when they brought in Stephen Bertolino to represent Brian, that they were doing it with Brian's best interests in mind. We've had every attorney on here, and every attorney has said on our air on WFLA that this is what you do. You protect your client.
Why are they hiring a lawyer from New York?
The Constitution is there for a reason. It protects you. And invoking, you can't be mad at the...
Why are they hiring an attorney from New York? I understand that her parents would hire an attorney from New York because she lives there. But why would he hire an attorney from New York if Brian's in Florida? That's weird. Unless Brian's in New York. That's just weird.
Possible. But here we are now, and Brian is missing. And so the parents that brought on this attorney, the attorney who made this decision to, of course, and the attorney making the decision, I'm sure, with his client in mind, making the decision to invoke their constitutional right to not speak, the attorney is doing, what he must, but now the parents' involvement now is directly part of this story, directly part of it. And we don't know whether Brian's disappearance is something that the parents knew about or didn't know about. And that's going to be a matter of speculation, and already is here. I see the comments coming in here. People speculating that, did the parents know that Brian was going to go off the grid? Because he's off the grid. Do you know how hard it is to go off the grid? Can we talk about that for 1 second? Do you know how hard it is to escape authorities when they know where you are? When you are you have the Federal Bureau of Investigation on you. You have multiple agencies, the feds, you have your local police on top of you, and they know exactly where you are. And in today's day and age where we have a million ways to track somebody's whereabouts, how difficult it is to elude them. There's more to this. It's not just to disappear out of thin air and like the.
Okay, so Val just said CNN just reported parents have not seen him since Tuesday. So that's 3 days. He could be anywhere. I don't know. But I agree with JB when he's saying that it's hard to go off the grid. It's extremely hard. You can't have a phone. You can't have any devices. You can't have anything. All right, let me give you both scenarios. On one hand, I can see the parents, him saying to his parents, I don't want you going through this. I don't want you to be put in a situation where, you'd be forced to talk. So I'm not telling you anything and go off the grid and just disappear. Or his parents know. And now I feel like JB when he said they either do or they don't. But elaborating on that, you got surveillance cameras, you got everything. I think that in a normal situation, I don't know what normal is, but in a normal situation, a kid is going to use their parents for help, and they're not going to be overly nice and say, I don't want you going through this. Or he told his parents nothing. His parents hired an attorney. They truly do know nothing. And he's just keeping quiet because he doesn't want to get them involved. And then on the flip side, did they help him? I don't know. We don't have enough information. I'm just giving both theories out there. Putting both theories out there.
That I've read. How does somebody with their face all over, not even just the news, all over, there he is again, all over TikTok, all over Reddit, all over Facebook, all over Instagram, all over every news website, all over Twitter, all over every electronic device in the country. How does this man just poof, disappear?
Exactly, Amanda.
Only the FBI and Northport police can answer that question. Garrett Sloan, #HeyJB, why didn't they bring him in for questioning? That's definitely different from arresting someone. You can, these are questions now. Can you legally bring in Brian for questioning?
Hey, Al.
As I understand it, you can't without charging with a crime. You can request him to come into, just, as I understand it, the way that the law works here in Florida is you charge somebody with a crime, you can bring them in, clearly, because you're arresting them. But somebody has to volunteer to go to the police office or the police station to offer a statement. And if they want to invoke their constitutional right to not speak.
It wasn't Northport Police Department, because we all know that he came home without her. So it's not their jurisdiction, just like it's not Suffolk County's jurisdiction. So there's nothing Northport Police can do but just ask them to come in because it's not their jurisdiction.
It's coming in here about Brian Laundrie's mental state. If Brian Laundrie is responsible for Gabby's disappearance or something tragic and sinister that happened to Gabby Petito, and that's your fiance, whether it was intentional or unintentional, whether it was an accident on the roadway or whether he planned to do something premeditated. In that scenario here, guilt on the conscience and the entire world knowing his name and her name, you have to wonder what his mental state is like. And there are going to be people that are going to discard that. Oh, his mental state. What about Gabby? What about Gabby? Well, that's exactly the point that I'm getting at. Is that, and I'm really our comment.
Yeah, I can't run CNN, Val. I'll get shut down.
He is the key to unlocking Gabby's whereabouts. So his mental state is crucial right now. Brian is at the center of all this. And if you don't find Brian, maybe you don't find Gabby. So his mental state right now is key.
How many of you guys think his parents know?
It's oh man, see here again, Donna Chang here just a moment ago in our Facebook Live comment section, #AJB. Then that law needs to change. He was the last person to see her. He's a person of interest. If they can't speak to him, then that needs to change.
It's not their jurisdiction.
We've had laws created based on terrible stories. You all know what an Amber Alert is. This is one of those stories where could something have been done sooner? Just like with Amber Alerts, right? Could something have been done sooner?
No.
Does the law need to change? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section here. Now, there are going to be people who are going to see that as egregious, changing the law. But can we be better?
Yeah, he's now missing.
Can we be better as a society, as a country, to enable us to have the tools to bring stories to more happy endings and fewer tragic, horrific, terrible endings that leave families demolished for decades? Can you imagine the Petito family? How do they go forward from this? People move on, I suppose. But
think positive
the Petito
there,
family,
JB. Too negative.
This will define them, or at least I can only hope it doesn't. But as far as everyone knows Gabby's name, everyone knows this story. The family has been in front of the cameras, pleading with the public for help, and this is a story now that has demolished the Petito family, and we'll find out more about the Laundrie family's perspective here. Their family, of course, clearly the entire Laundrie family is suffering, but we'll be able to shed more light on their perspective here when we know more of the facts. But really, the Petito family here is the one that has just been begging for anything. Point to a spot on a map. Tell us where to look. Is what the statement said yesterday. Give us an idea. Just give us latitude, longitude. Give us an idea as to where to search for our daughter. Was their statement, in essence. And so, your hearts go out to the Petito family.
All right, let me ask you guys on a poll, because I started to do this last night and then I stopped. So let me ask you guys like this. If your child, Jack and Jill, went up a hill and Jack comes home and Jill doesn't, and you say, honey, where's Jill? I left her on the hill. What do you mean you left her on the hill? I can't explain what happened, Mom. Just, I left her on the hill. Something horrible happened. I don't even want to discuss it. Mom freaks out. And you're sitting there like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Well, I got to give a scenario first. Oh my God. So you realize that your son is not only going to get charged with murder, but he very well might be a murderer. You lawyer up. Do you protect your son or do you force your son to speak? He could be dangerous and he disappears. But what do? Do you force your kid to talk or do you cover up for him? Knowing that you already lost a daughter-in-law, or a future daughter-in-law, knowing that your son is going to be tried for murder. There is coverage from here to California, from New York to California, from Canada to California. There is coverage nonstop. Your son is like a celebrity, like everybody knows who he is. And he really couldn't get any far. Would you protect your son from possibly getting killed? Or would you speak? Now think about it though, before you answer. I know talking is the right thing to do. But you could face losing your son for the rest of his life. Or what if it was an accident? Let's go one step further. What if it was an accident? What if they were standing on a mountaintop and she fell? And you really believe your son that she fell? Do you protect him knowing that he's going to go to jail for murder? I think my kids would tell me too, Bonnie. But there's no way to prove if she fell down a cliff that's 5,000 feet deep, whatever it is, 2,000, off the ground. There's no way to prove that he did kill her or that he didn't kill her or that she fell. So people are going to assume that like the top of that mountain, if she fell off that, you'll never know if she slipped or anything. So do you think that if you believed it was an accident, but the public would never take it as an accident, would you rat on your son, or would you protect him at any cost? Think about it before you answer. If it was an accident, then he has to tell what happened. But they're never going to believe him. They're never going to believe it's an accident. Look at all these people that are in prison for accidents. Think about it. Hey, Mr. Jamie. I don't have anything in this but my son, so I guess we leave the country for Australia. Okay, so you would protect your son. I actually asked a very similar question with JonBenet Ramsey for people that believe that Burke was the killer. And it was pretty much cut down the middle.
Northport police here in a moment. As I understand it, they're either calling in now or they're already on the line and they're being transferred this way. But we'll be back here in just a moment, everybody, with a breaking update. Northport police speaking to us here on WFLA Now. Don't go anywhere. The interview coming up next.
Don't go anywhere. Interview coming up next. Hey, Bayside. I don't know. It's a tricky one. Sarah, I would protect my kid too. How far I would protect him, I guess it would depend on what I believe. Because in this scenario, Brian is now off the grid and he can't contact his parents. At least if he was in jail, his parents would know he was okay. So this isn't a better option. What if that was your daughter? What's right is right. I understand, but in this situation, you think about your kid. You don't think about somebody else's kid. You think about your kid. Hey, Ladybud. News conference coming up. This is not what I planned on doing on Friday night. But we're doing it together. I remember that. They proved he did it with the science. She landed too far out in her position. Her stepfather, Jim, is speaking now. He is shocked that Brian is missing. I would imagine. honestly, Carol, it's one of those scenarios you don't know what you're going to do until you're in the situation. I can't tell you what I would definitively do. Nobody can. That's why I said, what if it was an accident? My only thing against the accident thing is, why wouldn't he just be honest about it? You know what I mean? Oh, there's no buying. Why wouldn't he just be honest? The fact that people are comfortable breaking the law is very evident in our society. I had a Friday night fight at dinner, but glad was listening. If I truly believe my son, I would let him get away, but I would make him leave a map of where he
Hey there,
likes
folks.
to
JB Buno here with you live on WFLA Now. We have Northport Police spokesperson Josh Taylor on the line here. We're going to be getting to him coming up here in about 60 seconds on WFLA Now. We're beginning a new stream here to engage a new digital audience here because we want as many people here to be able to hear what Northport Police have to say here regarding Brian Laundrie's disappearance. So that's coming up here next, everybody, on WFLA Now. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you so much. All tips are appreciated. All super chats are appreciated. All PayPals are appreciated. All candle sales are appreciated. I don't think any of my sons could live with the guilt. Yeah, my sons would rat in a second. They would definitely rat out in a second. Hey, Marty. Isn't this the Making a Murder channel? Haven't been here in a while. I'm telling you. I wish I still got the numbers I got on Making a Murderer. I got to rebuild this channel. It sucks rebuilding. I got to start from scratch and go live every day and rebuild it. And Brian is terrified of being interrogated. Yeah, he did. See, that's why I don't think it's an accident, though. Why wouldn't he just tell them where he is? Even before he disappeared. You want to disappear? Just say where he is. And then go off the grid. There's a reason he's not telling it. I just don't know what it is. I can't figure out why he's not telling it. Especially if he's going to go missing. I don't know their past or his relationship with parents. Well, him and her lived with his parents for the last almost 2 years. So he was close with his parents. She wasn't so close with her parents. Mine rang me straight away, asking me what to do. He'd be a mess. Yeah, mine would too. Mine would totally be a mess. No doubt. Yeah, but he's gone off the grid. So if he knew he was going to be missing, at least, I don't know. It's not. I just have a feeling he's on his way to her house. To her house. He's on his way to her. Thank you, Sarah. Yes, news conference coming up. Do not go away. That's what JB said. Do not go away. Thank you, Sissy. Thank you so much. Wonder if he went back. That's what I'm thinking, Denise. I really think that. There's something in me that tells me maybe he went to her to move her body to kill herself.
WFLA Now will begin momentarily.
All right, 55 seconds. Yeah, but you know what it is, though? We don't know anything yet. You can't really say either way because we just don't know. There's no answers on either side. So maybe we'll get some answers now from the police. back to where she is to kill himself. That's another possibility. I do have a crush on JB Ageless Beauty. He grew on me throughout this broadcast. I like him, though. I do. I have a little crush. It's okay.
Breaking news on WFLA Now. Here is JB Buno.
A major turn of events in the
Thank you,
search for Gabby
Bayside.
Petito, as Gabby Petito's fiance and the person of interest in her disappearance, Brian Laundrie, is missing, according to a report from, of course, our sister station Pix 11 in New York, as confirmed by WFLA.com through the attorney of Brian Laundrie. Joining us here on the phone here, folks, is Northport Police spokesperson Josh Taylor. You've been seeing Josh on many press conferences. It's been a long week, of course, for the Northport Police Department. Josh, first and foremost, let's just get to the latest here. Can you confirm at this time that you do not know where Brian Laundrie is located?
That is it.
And at this stage, Josh, can you paint a picture as to exactly what happened here and when you lost track of where Brian Laundrie was located?
Sure. So the information that we were given is that Brian was in
The sound is horrible.
on the street. Brian is not wanted for a crime. We do not track residents. We wouldn't put, any type of device on him or anything like that. He can go to the store. He can go wherever he'd like. We have been trying to contact his family and him for the last 6 days, as this nation has waited for an answer for where Gabby's at. His family attorney contacted us this evening saying that the family wanted to speak with us for the first time and wanted to tell us that they are concerned that they have not seen Brian. We arrived to a media circuit out in front of that home, and we are conducting that investigation into the credibility on where Brian is and what his family is telling us. Now, that's what we know. And we've been listening to media outlets, and there seems to be some sort of insinuation that we were not truthful about anything in this case. And I don't even have to ask about what it is, because I can tell you that that is not the case. This is not a black eye to the Northport Police Department. The men and women of this police department have been busting their ass to find an answer. Anyone who would say different doesn't know what the hell is going on.
We understand that this is a complicated case, Josh. And again, for those of you just joining us, I'm the comments that we're talking about earlier. And Josh, I just want this to be known here. This is a part of my job here is to explain how people are feeling out there based on some of the comments that are coming through on social media. And tonight there have been some people that have been extremely critical of the Northport Police Department and of the FBI, really of law enforcement here in Florida. I really, first and foremost, I appreciate you joining me here to kind of just explain with where we are. And again, a lot of comments out there that are very, very critical of how everyone in the world has...
You might be surprised that Facebook comments don't really do a whole lot for the facts in just about any situation in life.
But Josh, it's not just the Facebook comments. You had people out here outside of the home screaming at law enforcement all night. So this is not just one of those stories that's just on people pounding keyboards.
Look, I get it. I know that people are passionate, but I don't know who the hell goes out to a house to scream at a family when we're in the middle of an investigation that could result in the death of a little girl. So I got some questions about them as well. But at the end, the focus in this case is about finding Gabby. I can tell you that we're doing everything that we can. Anybody who knows where she's at, and now anybody who knows where Brian's at, please give us a call, 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's the focus. Focus isn't on what were we doing for Brian. We'll deal with Brian. We will deal with him. We have to find Gabby.
I want to ask this question on behalf of our WFLA News Channel 8 team here, Josh. Did the family call Northport Police and say that they haven't seen Brian since Tuesday? And if so, what time frame on Tuesday? When is the last time the parents saw Brian based on what we know here tonight?
Well, you're right, and I appreciate that question. I don't know they're going to be breaking that news right here. The detectives have been back, the police department from that location for 45 minutes. We're going to get together. We're going to figure out the details. We'll work every ounce of it. There is no stone left unturned in this case, and we'll have that information. We believe me, we are as transparent of a law enforcement agency that there is on this planet. And as soon as we can get something out that we think will help find answers in this case, there's obviously things that we know about that we're not just running right out to whoever to explain and give some of those details out. We have to hold back some of that information, but we try to get it out as quickly as we can, as accurately as we can, in order to help. The final goal here is to find Abby, and if we need to make somebody pay for what they've done, we'll do that too.
Josh, it was 5 minutes before you called in here. And again, Josh Taylor, everybody with the Northport Police Department, joining us here on WFLA Now to address all the folks that are joining us here regarding Brian Laundrie's disappearance. I was saying here that I have high confidence in law enforcement here in Florida. I have high confidence from federal, state, local authorities that you're going to track down Brian, that you're going to do everything at your disposal and use every tool and means necessary that you can to track down Brian Laundrie. But my question is, when you do track down Brian Laundrie, what next? What legally is the next step? Because does anything change if you can track down Brian now? At where we were last, he was a person of interest. You could not arrest him or charge him with any crime. So if later on tonight, if you were able to, with 100% certainty, track down where Brian is tonight, what can you do from that point forward?
If we track Brian home, his parents have reported him missing. If we find Brian this evening and pick him up, we're going to drop him back off at his parents' house. We'll attempt to talk to him about this case. He has the Fifth Amendment right. The Constitution, we don't rewrite it here in Northport. So we'll go through that, and we will make it an opportunity again for him to talk. We'll find, at the end of the day, we're going to find the answers in this case. We're going to find Gabby, and we're going to find whoever hurt her.
Josh, again, I want to just kind of speak to again some of the commentary that is out there, and again, part of my job here, I want to make this clear for all of our audience.
In all due respect, we love our community and we appreciate their input. But right now, unless they have a tip to help us find Gabby, I don't care their opinion on this issue. We are trying to get you have some info or don't. All right, and look, I appreciate you putting me on.
Yeah, and I just want to let you know again, because this is a story that has grabbed the attention of countless people across the country, that again, it's about giving voice to those people that are clearly frustrated with where we are, and that Brian hasn't given his side of the story, and now we don't even know where Brian is. So I just want to again point this out, that it's my job here to give voice to those who are watching here now. It's what I do here as far as representing them. And I know that your job is, of course, to solve crime and to find Gabby Petito and to bring this to a resolution here. But what do you say for all the commenters here that want there to be progress here in this case? I understand that this is one of the most complicated cases. One of the most complicated cases that I've covered, and I'm sure it's been complicated for your office here. But what do you say to all those people out there that are just wanting Gabby to be found and want there to be a resolution to this story that we can all get behind?
Well, if it's any solace, we have every tool known to man in law enforcement at our disposal. We're working with the FBI, multiple locations, and we'll get answers. It's obviously very complicated. We have a huge potential for possibilities in this case. And we want to make sure we get it right, because we need to find Gabby, or if something happened to her, we need to make sure that whoever did it pays for it. So sometimes that slows the process. not a bunch of cowboys. We're not going to go up in there and start breaking the Constitution and doing all sorts of things. We have to make sure that all of this holds up in court as well. So I appreciate you putting me on. I've got to run. I've got a billion other news outlets that are trying to reach me. We've given time to you. We really appreciate you. But again, one thing that I just want to leave you with.
Just one question. Yeah, I'm sorry, Josh. Continue. Yeah, there was just one follow-up question that's really important that I just wanted to ask, but please continue.
No, I was just going to say that we are a truthful, honest police department, and that's the bottom line. I'll answer your last question, please.
I understand, and you being on call here with us when we have a lot of commentary, of course, online that is extraordinarily critical. It speaks to the character of your police department, and it means a lot that you're calling in. And I just, again, professionally and personally, I'm just passing that along here to you. My final question here for you: are Brian Laundrie's parents cooperating fully with where you are in this investigation?
I think right now, at the moment, what I'm comfortable with saying is they're cooperating now in the search for their son. So we will do that. He is a resident of Northport, and they are residents of Northport, and we will do our job, and we'll see where that takes us. Thank you.
I think I speak, Josh, for all of us here at WFLA and all of our commenters, wishing you the very best and good luck as you continue making progress here in this investigation. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you for getting the word out. Bye-bye.
All right. Josh Taylor, everybody with Northport Police. We appreciate having Josh on here and calling in here, everybody. So, Josh.
Oh, my God. I love his expression in this. He's so frustrated. He's so disgusted. And it's so blatantly obvious on his face. He's like, yeah, that was a waste. I should call.
And I want to make this perfectly clear for our audience here is to give voice to those of you who are commenting here. We've had a staggering volume of commentary here tonight. And in this latest development here, we've had, of course, commentary that has been very critical towards law enforcement. And while this isn't necessarily the development that shines a positive light on law enforcement here, Josh brings up some excellent points here as far as of right now, he's not being charged with a crime. It's within his legal rights to move from place to place. It is. And we talked earlier on stream that Brian Laundrie, if he wanted to, he could book a flight right now and go somewhere. He could. It's his legal right to. So this is something that that Brian Laundrie being missing, looking from the outside in, it certainly doesn't bode well for this case. But at the same time, Josh brings up an excellent point here. And again, a big thank you to Josh for wanting to be part of this conversation here and being part of the commentary that's going on here, because that's how we actually get a better understanding as to news stories and how they develop and as far as the questions that we can ask and the answers that we can receive. Josh coming on here allows us to, even though the commentary has been critical, and I shoulder responsibility as far as relaying some of that critical commentary here on stream on behalf of you, our viewers at home.
Don't worry, JB, you did a good job.
Josh is pleading for anything and everything to get Gabby returned home safely. And we are all behind that. And if Josh has seen any of our previous streams here, every stream has been done with the intention of sharing out this story to increase exposure and increase the chance that Gabby is found safe and sound. We're not at that conclusion right now. But Northport Police are part of the solution, not the problem. And make no mistake about it. And Josh Taylor coming on here to speak with us is indication that he wants to be part of the solution and a solution that we can all get behind. So again, a big thank you to Josh Taylor for calling in here and wanting to defend the Northport Department here from some of the commentary that has been out there. Again, when I put that into perspective here, as far as summing up some of the comments that were coming in here, that was what people were commenting. As far as we had some very, I only put up on screen here comments like this one here. And I'll bring up this comment here, like from Diana. I only bring up the comments that are appropriate. Do you know how many comments we get that are inappropriate, that are really nasty and vulgar? And it's social media. It's not a surprise. People are going to be nasty in the comment section and pound words into their keyboard that otherwise they wouldn't say in real life. But it's my job here to try to sum up those comments and portray them in a way that is air appropriate and that is accurate and faithful to our commenters and what some of them are saying. Most of the time, when we're talking about a particular issue, there's two sides, and I try to sum up the argument for both of those sides. And when we do that here, sometimes we can throw comments up here on screen that sum up the comments and do my job for me, and other times it's difficult because of all the F words, S words, B words, and all the nasty words that we can't throw up here on screen. So there have been some, listen, I apologize for this being the fact, but the fact of the matter is that there is some very, very negative commentary towards law enforcement tonight. But I want to make clear what I was saying before Josh called in. I have a high level of confidence in Florida's finest. This is going to end with them tracking down Brian. I am confident in that, and they're going to do everything that they can to bring this to a resolution. I said that on stream before Josh called. I'll say it again. I have high confidence in the Northport Police Department. I have high confidence in the FBI, and I have high confidence for the hard-working men and women of law enforcement here in the state of Florida and across the country. The commentary tonight towards law enforcement has been a bit negative that we have seen here in the comment section, but I have faith, and I think that everyone here should too, because Gabby's been missing for many, many weeks. Brian's been missing for much less. So let's hope that Brian Laundrie can be tracked down and he can provide us with some clues, even though legally here we don't know where this goes now, but if they do track him down. But let's hope that Brian Laundrie can be tracked and eventually brought to speak and reveal what he knows, about Gabby Petito's disappearance. I know that we're live for a lot of folks here on WFLA Now, on WFLA.com, on WFLA's app, on all of our social media accounts here. We are going to be stepping away. We've been live here almost 3.5 hours without a water break. It's been a very, very long night. I'd like to continue. You know what, folks? What we'll try to do is we'll try to come back. Maybe I'll take a little bit of a break here. We will try to continue to answer questions here and in a little while. But we're going to take a little bit of a brief break here on WFLA Now. We're going to play some of the clips from our earlier streams here for our audience, and we'll try to come back here live at some point to answer questions here in the Facebook Live comment section. More ahead here coming up here live on WFLA Now, folks. Thanks so much for being with us here live.
Yo, he's young. I think he just graduated college in 2011. He's young. He's way too young for me. I was looking him up. He's actually did some work in Alabama. But yeah, he's way too young. But I could still look at him. He's still cute. But if he went to college in 2011, yeah, he's in his 20s. Maybe early 30s. I like the Florida Sunshine Law. Why we got much info. Oh, that's what I wanted to look up real quick. Hold on. All right. So what I was looking up is the person of interest and what laws they have. Hang on. All right, guys. Okay. Oh. All right. All right, so this is what I was looking up. A lot of people are confused about the person of interest. So the question that's asked to an attorney was, can a person of interest leave the country? It says yes. Unless and until criminal charges have been filed against you, you are free to travel about as you please. Moreover, even if criminal charges have been filed against you, but you are not aware that such charges have been filed, you may still legally travel about. However, if you are aware that criminal charges have been filed against you, you may wish to retain an Orange County criminal defense attorney. This is an Orange County attorney who can contact the police and or prosecutor on your behalf to determine if a warrant has been issued for your arrest. Most individuals who have been charged with out-of-state criminal offenses do not find out about the charges until they are stopped in their home state for traffic violations. What typically happens at that point is that while you're checking your ID, blah, blah, blah. Once you're in custody, it's different. If there's reason to believe that you have been charged with a crime, you will be charged. But yeah, so yeah, they're all right. Yeah, his LinkedIn, I looked at his LinkedIn, and it looks like he just got out of college. He graduated college in 2011. Ah, Nikki. What's sunshine law? That's a Florida law. I forgot what it is. I'll pull it up. Sunshine law. A law requiring certain proceedings of government agencies to be open or available to the public. He is a cutie. That's what sunshine law is. The Sunshine Act states that every portion of every meeting of an agency shall be open to public. He better have his medical history with it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to end up killing himself. If he's not going to end up killing himself. I just don't know. Let's see. Alright, let me see if I can. If there's anything else going on. That's a good one now on Become Death. I like that. Alright. Last update from Northport Police. 1 hour ago, conversation at Laundrie home is complete. Once we have details, statement will be made. That's it. Northport Police has nothing on their Twitter. Okay, we know that. We got that already. All right, FBI joins partners at National Park Service, Teton County Sheriff's Office, and Jackson Police Department in sharing this update regarding missing person. All right, FBI Denver Field Office and its Wyoming resident agencies, in coordination with the National Park Service, have initiated a joint investigation into the disappearance of Gabby Petito. A missing person poster that includes photos of Gabby in her van have been made available here. I don't understand. This was just... Let me show you guys. September 17th, but they don't need to look for the van. They have the van. It says the poster highlights her biographical data, her description, and instructions on how and where to submit tips. Gabby was on an extended road trip that included tourist areas. Many people across the U.S. and other countries visiting those locations may have seen her in the van and could have taken photos or videos of which contain images of Gabby. If any members of the public have information, such as potential sightings, photos, videos, or any other details concerning Gabby, please use the information and tips may be submitted anonymously online at tips.fbi.gov or by phone at 1-800-CALL-FBI or 303-629-7171. FBI also has created a digital media tip line dedicated to this case. Any pictures or videos may be uploaded directly to the site, fbi.gov/Petito. We reiterate, no piece of information is too small or inconsequential to help in law enforcement's efforts to bring Miss Petito home. While we cannot provide further comment as to the specifics of the investigation, we will provide significant updates to the public and request assistance when appropriate to do so. There you go. Since he's only a person who can't put a notification out on... Yeah, they can't. Because he hasn't been... he hasn't done it yet. He hasn't been committed yet. But this was put out an hour ago from the FBI. Oh. They forget they get... Yeah, they haven't found her cell phone, they said. They said they haven't found her cell phone. 5 minutes ago, van life couple update. Plot thickens in the nationwide search for Gabby Petito as an attorney revealed it is unknown where her partner, Brian Laundrie, is. So this is the new... See, but if you don't know, I was going to say, if you don't know the case, this is not right. It wasn't the 24th. It was the 25th, I thought. He was reported missing on September 17th. So what do you guys think? You think his parents gave him a head start? Or no? Well, I don't... He obviously got rid of his cell phone now, but her phone, as far as we know, was not found. It's possible that's what the cop put in his... It's possible that's what the cop put in his pocket, was his cell phone. They could have flunked grades. I don't buy it, Monkey's mama. I think it's bullshit. I think she's looking for fame. And I'll explain now before I get off, because I've been on almost 3 hours. And it doesn't look like anything else is happening tonight. But if it does, I'll be back, I promise. But this is what I think. I think it's bullshit because he had a van, especially if she was dead. There's no logical explanation of why he would be hitchhiking. He wouldn't be with his van. It's not like she had it because he probably killed her. So I find it very hard to believe that this man who wasn't even dirty, the girl said allegedly, like he wasn't even dirty. He wasn't, he wasn't gross. She said he looked a little scruffy, but he smelled clean or whatever. He would have had his van. He wouldn't need a hitchhiker. He wouldn't need to pick up to go hitchhiking. I just don't buy it. I think this girl is, just like Facebook people lie, or you hear I know this person or I know that person. I mean, she just amped to TikTok stardom by this story. I just don't buy it. And he was back in Florida on September 1st. It's just, she said it was like on the 29th at 5:30 p.m. and then she texted her mom about it. Why would you text your mom? I'm just not buying it. I'm just not. The way Josh sounded, he probably behind a curtain. I know, right? Yeah, that audio is horrible. I don't know. I don't believe it. And I know a lot of people do. It's too suspect for me. And the way she was talking, I don't know. If he'd be hitchhiking, how would he have the van have gotten back to Florida? Yeah, he drove the van back to Florida. Someone in the laundry helped him disappear and his parents seemed suspicious. That's possible. They could have easily gave him a 3-day head start. With all the media coverage, maybe they told him he had to go. Maybe they said, get off the grid because we're never going to have a normal life. TikTok views people are nuts. Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, I could be wrong. I'm not saying that that I'm right for sure, but I just don't believe it. Hope you chat more often with those you feel comfortable with. I've been here since 3/19 after leaving MG. She went real life on me, but as long as Laura does me no... Who? Sister Danka, you never know what people do. People want Facebook, social media stardom. Laura's into this one. Yes, I need to watch from the beginning and read more on it. Oh, I'm definitely into this one. She's from Long Island. That's why. It's part of the reason. But even before, like, I just didn't have time. I was cooking dinner. Phoenix had physical therapy today. And I'm like, I got to jump on this. I have to put everything aside that I'm doing tonight because I have to make candles. But I'm like, I got to put everything aside tonight. There's new stuff coming up. There's coverage coming up. I got to sit down and do this. I got to get my channel back up, and I got to do it. And I got to do it right. So here we are. L, she means me, L. I don't chat much. Huh? I'm telling you, any aspiring YouTube people, if you want to kill your channel, don't go live every day. Or, you know, a couple times a week or whatever. 2 times a week, 3 times a week. Get off a steady schedule and you are guaranteed to destroy your channel and nobody will come in there anymore. You have to build it right back up from scratch again. It's a long process, but you got to be done. So on that note, I am going to shut down. I've been on literally like 3 hours, almost 3 hours. So I'm going to shut down. I promise you guys, if anything major happens tonight at 11, I will be back. And anytime JB is live, I'll be live. No problem. Nah, seriously though. I will see you guys either later or tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have some news. Hopefully he'll be found something. But I hope you guys have a fantastic night. Thank you guys so much for the super chats, for the PayPals. I really, really appreciate it, especially in a time like this. So getting close to Christmas and everything else. So I do. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys later tomorrow. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Peace. Thanks, White Lotus.